WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station. WFAN Sports Flash.
And this report brought to you by Moderna. The Mets season ending in Miami yesterday, despite the fact that the Reds did lose in Milwaukee. Season is now over with a 4-0 loss. They went 83-79 for a team that was 21 games over 500 mid-June. Here was Francisco Lindor, put a lot on his shoulders.
I feel that the job, for the mission, it was something that, it was on us, on me, and on the players to get it done, and we didn't get it done.
Now it's on to the offseason. Pete Alonso did say he will be opting out of his contract to become a free agent. GM David Stearns to meet the media today at 3:30 p.m. As for the Yankees, they ride an 8-game winning streak into the postseason, beat the Orioles 3-2. Yankees and Red Sox opening tomorrow night at the stadium. Max Fried, Garrett Crochet in the opener. The other series will be Detroit and Cleveland, the Padres and the Cubs, and the Reds will get the Dodgers. The Giants, meantime, a winning football team for a Sunday. They're 1-3 with their win over the Chargers, 21-18. First NFL start for Jaxson Dart. 15-yard touchdown run and a short touchdown pass. Giants will be in New Orleans Sunday, though we do await word on the severity of the injury to wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys and Packers played to a 40-40 tie. Jets take on the Dolphins tonight on Monday Night Football, and Team Europe beat the U.S. at the Ryder Cup 15-13. This report brought to you by NJMEP Manufacturing Day, October 3rd in Freehold. If you work in New Jersey manufacturing, your chance to network, learn, and connect with resources for your business is October 3rd, the annual Made in New Jersey Manufacturing Day in Freehold. Both gubernatorial candidates will share their vision for industry in New Jersey. Register today at njmep.org. 72 in Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
It's Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata on WFAN The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Wow, they did it, BT. The Mets found a new way to destroy their fan base and crush their fan base yet again. And I never liked the term collapse, and I was one of the last ones off the ship with this Mets team, just thinking like, come on, you know how bad it has to get for them to actually miss the postseason? Think about it. They missed the postseason with 83 wins. Had they won 80 on a tiebreaker, had they won 84 games, they'd be in the postseason. So then I did get off the ship doing the math with 10 games to go. Either way, whether you want to term it a collapse or the worst team money could buy or the second worst team money could buy, for me, BT, it is after the offseason, after the hope, the excitement, the new direction, the expanded postseason, the way that they started the year, it is unquestionably, in my mind, the most embarrassing season that the New York Mets have ever had.
It's one of the, to me, it's one of the, it's got to be the most stunning disintegration of any New York sports team I've ever seen. Now, there's been other collapses, some with the Mets, some with other teams as well, but the fluctuation from the high points where the Mets looked at points like the best team in baseball to the inability to score a run yesterday against the Marlins when the Reds lose, like, we're going to tell this story 15, 20, 30 years from now, and if you didn't live through it, I don't know that you're going to really believe it. It's unacceptable. It's horrible for Met fans. Met fans have been amazing this year. Met fans are always amazing, but particularly going out and following this team and supporting this team and giving the money to the team like Cohen implored you to do. You did your job. Steve Cohen did his job. Not enough people did their job. What an absolute mess.
And think about it this way, like, we'll get to what needs to happen and what you would do. Nobody has any answers as to why this happened. It's not just, the starting pitching fell apart. Yeah, that's a big part of it, but that's not the singular reason. They couldn't hit with runners in scoring position all year long. Obviously, this last weekend, yesterday, I was like, oh, man, how are they going to get through this game with Manaea especially? It wasn't the problem. They didn't score a run. They didn't score. Big bad Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, McNeil, get him out. Get McNeil out. I'm tired of watching Jeff McNeil. All of them. So it's not just the pitching. Obviously the pitching is bad. The bullpen is bad. Stearns, to me, is the main culprit. We can break it down. But even in just one weekend where all you had to do is take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins, or go back to last weekend, all you had to do is take 2 out of 3 against the lowly Washington Nationals. And you couldn't even do that. So it's not just, well, it's the pitching, well, it's this, well, it's that. They had these guys stay healthy and all have career years, and they still couldn't beat the Cincinnati Reds out in an expanded playoff. That is as embarrassing as it gets for a team that is embarrassing themselves for years. Since its inception, it became accepted. It's like the rare time that they actually made the playoffs. Wow, congrats, the Mets have made the playoffs. We talked about it a million times. They've made the playoffs consecutive years in their history. Twice. This was supposed to be a layup. So much so that even if they made the playoffs, I wouldn't have been happy. Just making even last year, I said the same thing. Well, if they make it, who cares? Now they went on a little bit of a run, so that overlooked a lot of the other real issues here. This, to me, would have been unacceptable even if they got in as a 6 seed. Unacceptable. How does this happen? How the hell does this team with that payroll and that talent lose out on a tiebreaker with 83 wins in the 6th seed in the National League to the Cincinnati Reds? I don't understand.
The easy answer is the pitching. That's too easy, and I don't think that that's the only answer. I think it's the core, which you've talked about for a while. Last year's team was defined by character and clutchness. If you really think about that, right? Pete's clutch home run, Lindor against Atlanta, the character throughout, the chemistry. This year, it really seemed to be the exact opposite. They weren't clutch, and the average and the stats with runners in scoring position, all the things we've thought, the inability to, they were 0-67 entering the last inning with a deficit, so they were the absolute opposite of being clutch. And to me, every time their character was really tested, they failed. And not only did this to me is the most unforgivable aspect of this Mets implosion, collapse, disintegrate, whatever the word we're going to use is, right? They didn't seem to resist it with the vigor and the fight and the character and the respect for their jobs that I think we all thought that they had. Now, I'm not saying that they wanted to lose. I don't believe that at all. I think if you believe that, I think you're an idiot. They did not want to lose. But their desire to win, their desire to forge through and fight through any impediment that came their way, it was non-existent. And when you see that, I've got to look at the leader, whether it's the so-called captain, whether it's the goofy first baseman, whether it's the amazing right fielder who didn't seem to really care if they won or lost, whether it's the manager who told us the same damn thing after every single loss. We're too talented. We've got talent. We got to figure this out. We should be better. You're not. And you weren't. And to me, it's not just baseball stuff. This Mets team, this is a bigger issue. I grant you that. This team, if I had a wrecking ball, I would take it and I would smash this pieces into 100 pieces and start over outside of Soto, McClain, maybe one or two other pieces. It is time to switch it all up. They're not good enough, and if they stay together, they're never going to be good enough.
But BT, if they were to get in, they would have been dangerous.
Yeah, well,
nobody wants to play the Mets. Nobody wants to play you. Hey, Brandon, you're right. Nobody wants to play you. Now nobody has to. Nobody has to. You're home. You guys embarrass yourself. I mean, that is as embarrassing as you. Bad seasons happen, underperformance happens, injuries happen. Dude, we had a similar conversation, you and I, when we first put together in 2023. Whereas in 2022, the Mets collapsed. That to me was, maybe the collapse is a little strong, but they blew that division. That division was theirs for taking. Difference is Braves came and got them. But I had an issue with that core after they got beat, when they got swept by Atlanta, and then got embarrassed, went feebly in the postseason.
Padres. Then
they washed it down with a year that they didn't make the postseason, which I was stunned. Maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was surprised at that point. For a couple of reasons, like the payroll, the expanded postseason, there really shouldn't be an excuse for missing the postseason when you spend as much as the New York Mets. But it doesn't mean that spending equals wins. Clearly, it doesn't. But to make the postseason, that's bare minimum. They didn't. Then they followed up with a very good 2024 season. Okay, even if the first half of the season looked awful, they still followed up, and we know the results. And now this. So to me, I think they're more of the bad that we've seen from 2022 throughout than they are the good. The one run that they went on last year, the miraculous run, that's the outlier. So I don't disagree. And now I was saying this for years, break up the core. It's been different guys over the course of this. But then when they started to have success, I'm like, you know what? I can't fight it anymore. They were great last year. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They started out this season They were. They didn't just start out like the best team in baseball. They were the best team in baseball on that June 13th or whatever that day. They were the best team in baseball. And to fall apart like this, like, that's why I use the word embarrassing. They won 83 games, so it's not the worst team in franchise history. Their main 4 guys put up big numbers, so it's not like all of them underperformed or disastrous contracts. But as a team, they should be ashamed of themselves. And as a fan, to me, it's maybe not the most painful, but certainly the most embarrassing.
But I think, now again, I'm not a Mets fan, so I can't really speak to the pain. I can just speak to the situation. But, try to just juxtapose the emotions. If it were my team, I almost feel that it would be the most painful because it was so painfully drawn out.
Well, it was a horrible season.
It was drawn out. I mean, it was week upon week upon week upon week of bullpen implosion, kicking the ball around, which suddenly crept up the final couple of weeks of the season. And it's just... It was death by a little tiny million slices, which is a tough way to go down.
What I think painful, and maybe it's just because I was more in the prime of my fandom in 2007. Like, 2007, I was shocked. Like, that would be the word I would use, shocked. Like, there's no way this is actually going to happen. And then it did happen. I was like, what was that? And then you're on the outside looking in. And you also got beat by a good Phillies team, a team that eventually would go on, to be the world champions a couple years later, whatever it may be. 2008, sitting in Shea Stadium on that Sunday, watching them come out and celebrate say goodbye to Shea after they just got eliminated. Like, that to me was painful. Maybe it was because I jumped off ship. Maybe it's because I accepted what I believed to be their reality. Maybe it was because it was going on for so long. I don't know what it's just embarrassing. With the expanded postseason to miss the playoffs, and there are no clear answers. At least the other part you could say, well, in 2008, maybe they didn't have enough. And maybe that's just the case with this team. They're just not good enough, simply put. I don't understand, though, how you could play like the best team in baseball for 2 months or 2.5 months and then fall apart to the point where you get caught by the Reds. You can't even win 84 ball games.
I don't have that answer. All we could give you is the thoughts, and obviously people are revved up, and Met fans beside yourself will get the calls. Obviously, we'll get the Dart later. Of course, we'll get to it all, BT and Sal. But I feel like, and I
the Giants got to be upset today. Like the Mets,
the New York Giants, they're taking away the steam.
If the Mets won yesterday, we'd be leading today with the Giants.
We would be.
We wouldn't be leading with the Mets or the Yankees. Would be the Giants. So the fact that the Mets are so bad, they got in the way of a rare good day for the Giants, got to be annoying to the Giants.
That is true. But I'll tell you this, and I feel like, and it's a small sample, whether it's some of my friends or people on social media, which I really don't dive into much after games, a little bit, but just not much. That's not my thing. You know that. I feel like overall in totality, I feel like the Met fan has grown. This is a strong word that I haven't used in a long time to explain a fan base team relationship. I feel like the Met fan has grown to despise this group. I feel like the Met fan can't stand what this group omitted and how they took it laying down. And it's one thing to lose and collapse and have it hurt from a baseball perspective. I honestly feel like most of the Met fans hate this group of players.
Interesting way to put it, because last year, no question, it was a team that the fans can get behind and be proud of, even if they weren't the most talented. This team, obviously, the exact opposite of that. All right, let's hear from you guys. BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires. From Connecticut to Maine, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. 888-808-1019. Nick is in St. Augustine, Florida, starting us off. What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Sal, I called about a month ago. I was down on the Mets big time. You were still on board with them. Even when they played well in the beginning of the season, I felt like it was a 500 team. They were barely winning games. They weren't hitting. They weren't hitting in the clutch. BT, you're absolutely right. I despise this team almost the whole year. Sal, even you weren't happy with Soto in the beginning, but you knew it wasn't a team that was playing well. And it starts from the top. I know they're not getting rid of Stearns, and even some of the moves that he made at deadline I thought were good. They got to get rid of Mendoza. He is a horrible manager. Obviously, he can't get the guys going. He's not a tactician. He doesn't know really what he's doing out there. They got to take a wrecking ball, but the wrecking ball better swing from the top down. And you know it's got to start with Mendoza. That's it. This team has been embarrassing all year.
Nick, let me ask something. When you say top down, like, who do you think is the biggest culprit for this year's failures?
Honestly, this is the biggest culprit. Mendoza and the bottom half of the lineup. You go five down.
I would disagree. And sorry, Nick, thank you. We appreciate it.
He's missing the big mark.
Yeah, it's David Stearns. Yes. It's a layup. And they're not going to fire Stearns in going into year 3.
Nor are they going to fire Mendoza. Martino had the report last night. He's coming back. Did you have to tell the Met fan 13 minutes after the game he's going to be back?
I know.
I mean, what do we do? That was a little quick. I'm not saying that I'd let him twist in the wind for 3 weeks, but I mean, I've been very critical of Mendoza this year. I'm not saying that I would fire him,
right.
But I mean, he can wait 3 hours to see what his fate is. He at least earned that.
And David Stearns is going to speak today, and Martino also in that report said that basically you could expect several coaching staff changes, which there should be, like at the very least. Now, I don't think Mendoza should be fired. I thought he was great last year. I didn't think he was very good this year. And I understand that when you have a season like this, Mendoza would say it himself. When you underperform to this level,
he did say it. He took it. He took it like a big man. Like big boy. He did.
Okay, but does that mean you got to be rash, make rash decisions and fire him? No, just like I wouldn't fire Stearns. I think Stearns is much more responsible for to me, it's Stearns and the players, all of them. Not the bottom half of the order, not the starting row, all of them. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, all of them. All of them. Stearns and the team that he put together, the big-time players, I don't care what their numbers say, the team wasn't good enough. Those are more, to me, bigger culprits than the manager.
I agree with that. And again, you like Mendoza more than I do, but I would even agree with that assertion. I think that's fair. I would bring him back for year 3. Year 1 was good, year 2 was bad, year 3 splits the difference. If year 3 is bad, you got him.
I mean,
that's what and if year 3 is not good enough early, I would get rid of him mid-season. Like he doesn't have a whole rope next year.
Bingo. So that's enough, because think about it this way. If the Mets played well before they even got to the there was a chance that they could extend Carlos Mendoza, and he would have been easy peasy street, like, oh, he's going to be here. The manager's not the issue. Mm-hmm. This season went so sideways and so bad that now all of a sudden he may not be fired now. I know he's going to be in the direct line of fire.
Yeah, listen, you get to when it reaches this level. It does change sensibility. It should, no matter what you thought prior to the last 6-7 weeks. And even if you thought Mendoza had a couple of spotty moments, whether it's the Marte pinch running, pulling guys early, keep them out, with the baseball things that we talked about, nobody thought really at the middle of the season that Mendoza should be fired. But it got so bad and almost an element of, I don't want to say toxicity, but it just seemed so off that I think everything's in play next year. The one thing that I would disagree with Nick's call, real fast, Sal, is I was kind of buying the early success because I'm sitting there saying, hold on, the Mets are winning all these games and Juan Soto hasn't done a damn thing yet. So the easy thing for anybody would be like, unless you're just a hater or a troll, we all knew that Soto would eventually, I don't know if we thought he'd go almost 40-40, but we knew he'd wake up and basically remember that he was Juan Soto, and we all thought, well, when that happens, then the Mets, who were already very good at that point, would be even better. I don't know what the hell happened.
Also, there is a difference between saying, well, the Mets are going to be good to the level of being the best team in baseball or a World Series winning team versus the Mets are going to make the playoffs. Like, even when I was saying they're going to make the playoffs, it was less about them being great or my belief in them being great. It was like, dude, do you know how bad you have to be to miss the postseason? Think about how bad it is. Yeah. The Reds got in on a tiebreaker with 83 wins. Like, that's embarrassingly bad.
The Marlins were still mathematically alive a week ago. Think about that.
I mean, my God. So there's two different levels. Larry's in Westchester. What's up, Larry?
Hey, Larry.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
What's up, man?
Listen, I need a couple of seconds to explain a couple of things. I agree with Sal, which is unusual because we're both Mets fans, but we don't agree all the time. But it has to start from the top down. Stearns is the architect of this. I remember when Cohen bought the team, he said he wanted to model the team after the Dodgers. Consistency. How do you hire Stearns and let him keep getting one-year pitches year after year? Is that a way to be consistent? And all these guys are off of the junk heap to boot. It finally caught up with them. Mendoza, I'm sorry, Sal, he's got to go. He's no manager. And as far as the players go, McNeil, Alonso already said he wanted to opt out. We're going to go through this every year. I'd say, Pete, I love you, but goodbye and good luck. If you think you can get 4 or 5 years at $30 million or more, go ahead and get it. It's a capitalist society. You're entitled. And Nimmo, I don't care. He's not consistent enough. That thing, again, BT, what you said about getting a wrecking ball, it has to be done. But Stearns is the culprit with this. I don't know where he came up with. You don't need ace pitchers. That's why the Yankees keep winning. They got Fried. They got Rodon. Imagine if Cole was out there this year, what they would have done.
The Yankees have a lot more than that, though, Larry, and thank you for the call. It's not just about one starting pitcher or two. Like, you could – my philosophy still would be similar in that I would not invest big, BT, high money. It doesn't mean just a blanket statement, never. Like, there are certain guys. We talked about it. Fried would have been the one guy that I thought was worthy of a big investment in the starting rotation. For the Mets, you couldn't ask them to do that this year on top of Juan Soto. So they'll go out there and address. There's no way they would do the same thing again this year, but I don't think Stearns all of a sudden is going to change his entire philosophy and just go throw out $200 million contracts for free agent starting pitchers.
I don't think he's going to change necessarily the DNA of who he is, and I think that would be foolish because you hired him based on how he operates. But if he's got to show growth here and the ability to adapt to the bigger market, and if he doesn't, well then, like Mendoza, if he doesn't get his act together, Stearns will be on the street as well. I don't agree with the term, and I forget the last call. Larry, good call, by the way. He used the term architect. To me, Brian Cashman's the architect of the Yankees. Stearns is not yet the architect of the Mets. Alonso didn't bring him in. McNeil didn't bring him in. Lindor didn't draft Beatty. Didn't draft Alvarez. Right. Didn't bring Nemo. Didn't bring Marte. Didn't bring in Diaz. So he's not the architect. That's an unfair.
And even Soto. Like, I'm not saying he wouldn't want him, but
that's all Cohen.
Yeah,
Cohen's money stuff. Yeah, of course. And Alex Cohen, the wife, the family thing. So to me, it's a really inaccurate representation of what Stearns has done. Now, moving forward, that's going to change. Now he's getting off the tarmac. He's going to get some altitude. It's going to be his flight, and he's got to show again the willingness to change and break some methods. It changes methodology a bit, and if he doesn't, then the Mets aren't going to win. He's got to get better, and the Mets have to change a lot.
More of your calls when we get back. BT and Sal on the Fan. Mets are done for the year. An embarrassing 2025 season. 888-808-1019. Mondays. But guess who's making them sweeter? It's Dunkin'. All day today, Dunkin' Rewards members get a little pick-me-up, a free hot or iced coffee with purchase using the Dunkin' app. Yep, that's right. Your Monday just went from meh to So if you needed a reason to smile, sip, or just a little pick-me-up, this is it. Don't miss out. Dunkin' Rewards, free coffee for rewards members. Happy Monday. Happy National Coffee Day Monday.
Here's Aaron Boone to lead off. His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
The age-old rivalry heats back up just in time for fall.
Hey, you ready? Garrett Crochet, Max Fried. How does it sound?
Oh, I can't wait.
The Bombers start their journey toward glory and a record 28th World Championship.
His second two-run shot.
Boy, and he loves that right field corner, doesn't he?
The electricity in the Bronx will be delivered to you like no one else can deliver.
Goodbye, two-run homer.
Right here on your exclusive home for New York Yankees baseball. 1019 FM, WFAN, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Step up to the plate with confidence with the Jeep brand's newest MVP, the all-electric Jeep Wagoneer S. Year after year, the Jeep brand has delivered game-changing technology and features to help keep you off the bench and on to your next adventure. By blending thoughtful luxury capability and advanced technology, the Jeep Wagoneer S is one key player that doesn't disappoint. Experience the brand new head-turning design and luxurious interior without sacrificing on the legendary performance you love. Excellent range capacity opens up the playing field, and with 4x4 capability, featuring select terrain driving modes, how you play the game is up to you. The interior cabin of Wagoneer S pays special attention to detail with high-quality luxury refinements and seamless connectivity that surrounds you in comfort, along with premium seating, ambient lighting, and over 170 standard safety and security features. And like most All-Stars, it can really motor, especially with standard 600 horsepower. It's rugged, plays aggressive, and isn't afraid to get dirty. And with the exciting offers and deals going on right now at your local Jeep brand dealer, it all adds up to Jeep Wagoneer S being a steal. So hurry in today and blast one out of the park. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
With great deals coming this Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th, greatness is a deal away. So if you love baking, you can get a deal on a new mixer, transforming you into the Lord of the Loaves.
Hear ye, hear ye! Make way for the baron of brioche, the sultan of sourdough, the Lord of the Loaves, Prime Member Dave!
Yeah, hi?
Get up to 40% off with Prime Big Deal Days, October 7th and 8th.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all.
one connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Clogged toilet, leaky faucet on one. Ready?
Uh-oh, you've got a plumbing problem blitzing through the line. Time to audible and call in the pros. Roto-Rooter is your go-to defense for clogs, leaks, and any plumbing fix. Call the right play and download the Roto-Rooter app and easily book an appointment and receive exclusive service discounts. Touchdown! Don't get sacked by plumbing issues. Call in Roto-Rooter, your MVP for plumbing solutions. Download the app today and score big on savings.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
We've got more sports talk coming up on The Fan.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Regular cancer screenings could save your life. New York Presbyterian offers a full range of cancer screenings, including lung, breast, prostate, and more. Learn more at nyp.org/cancer screening. Stay amazing. New York Presbyterian.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
The Mazda CX-30 is more than just a crossover. It's a statement. Step inside and enjoy a refined interior with available leather seating, a sleek 8.8-inch center display, and premium sound that turns every drive into a getaway. Feel confident with standard advanced safety features like Mazda radar.
Overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Catch all the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims, the home of Yankees radio, The Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT Sal back on The Fan on this morbid Monday as it pertains to the New York Mets. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Issue with Alonso. Now, look, we're going to have many, many deep conversations about this team, what we would do, wrecking ball this, that, who they are going to, Stearns will speak today. I'm sure they're going to fire a bunch of coaches, so we could react to that tomorrow. I had no issue with the way Pete handled himself in the postgame yesterday. I know some people were saying, oh, do you have to do it that soon? Like, what? Well, I don't understand. What do you want him to say? He's opting out. He had a monster year. Pete Alonso has earned a bigger contract. I'm sorry. So, the end of story. Whether I could not like him, you could not like him, you could love him, I could love him. He's earned a big contract. Will he get it here? Will he get it somewhere else? Who the hell knows? But for Pete to immediately say he's opting out, I have no issue with that whatsoever. He earned that right. The Mets didn't want to commit to him long-term, neither did anybody else. He bet on himself, and he had a monster year. Good for Pete Alonso.
I think Pete handled it with great class. I'm with you. I had no issue with it. Now, Diaz gave a little bit of a different answer.
Right.
And Diaz doesn't quite mean as much to the fans, even though Met fans love Diaz, clearly. But Pete's just different. He's a little bit different. So homegrown, et cetera. So, I thought the presentation was soft. First of all, he was asked a question.
Right.
And if you actually go back and listen to the clip again, he gives you about a 30 or a 35, 40-second, encapsulation of what it means to be a Met and how much he loved it. And I thought he balanced a very raw moment for him as a baseball player with team failure and some complicated business decisions, and I thought he handled it like a champion and like a pro. And then I don't know who volleyed very quickly, so are you going to opt out? And he said, yeah. He was asked a question. Would you rather him lie?
No.
If I was Pete, I would absolutely opt out. And again, we could do 4 hours on Stearns.
Right.
We could do 4 hours on Mendy. We could do 4 hours on Pete. We eventually will.
The core of the team.
The core.
What needs to be done, all this.
He deserves a much better contract than that, and I don't know that the Mets are going to give it to him.
I just appreciate the raw honesty from him, so I'm not going to get on and be like, seconds after this. Who cares, man? He played his ass off this year. Mickey's calling from Walcott, Connecticut. What's up, Mickey?
Hey, guys. Thank you for taking my call. Hey, listen, so there's so many things that can go off, and maybe if you guys allow me a moment to send a message to Stearns, because I'm sure we're all going to say the same thing today, and we're all going to feel the same. You, Stearns, are the smartest, dumbest person I've ever seen manage a team. We're just going to call it as is. Between all the moves he's made this year, between his philosophy with pitching, which is pay less so you can get more acquisitions, fine. You got more acquisitions. You ended up putting up more pitches than any other team, any season in history this year, and look at where you're at. And do I trust him to sign Alonso? Absolutely not. Hope he does, but he doesn't make good decisions with his acquisitions. I don't even trust him blowing up the whole team. If he blows up the whole team, who are you going to get? The same bums that we got this year or something better? Who knows? I don't trust this guy at this moment in time. And if anything, this whole season falls 100% on you. Nobody else but on you. Even Mendy. I don't have ill will to Mendy. Mendy did what he could do with what he has. At the end of the day, if he doesn't have all the pitching that he's necessary, how are you going to...
Mickey, hold on. Let me throw one thing at you here. Okay, so that's your opinion. I respect it. I don't fully agree. Sal, when it's 38 and 55 over the final 3+ months of baseball, which is an incredibly big swath of baseball to judge, it's not one singular failure.
Right, it's a lot.
Yes.
I would not blame Mendy myself, but I also don't think Mendy had a great year. My biggest issue with Mendy, look, if you can't watch the Mets, or if you, like anybody who watched the Mets throughout the entire season could see that he had no options as far as the pitching went. So I'm absolving him from that. To me, it's not, he pulled this guy too soon. He left him in. He went to the bullpen. Like, he had no good options. So I'm going to let that go. Where I do have an issue is I don't think he managed with the gut. I think he was tight. I think he kept saying the same thing as opposed to acknowledging the reality and trying to hold on. It's one of the reasons why I jumped ship, saying that when you're just doing anything you can just to get across the finish line and hang on, when you've been playing with fire so much so, eventually you will get burned. And generally, trying to hang on, you get caught. Just get us there. That's what they were trying to do. Their mentality was trying to hang on for dear life. And eventually, they got caught. But I would blame him for being tight, sending the same message, not acknowledging the reality, and also not going enough with the gut and just going by the matchups. We're gonna play Vientos at third base because he's a righty against left.
Instead of Beatty, he made an error.
No, Beatty should be in there. Now Beatty getting hurt didn't help them this last weekend. You get the point. He played the matchups last year. He didn't do that. So he wouldn't be my main culprit, but Mendy needs to take a hit because he's the manager of this team.
Yeah, I think he needs to take a big hit. These were things, and that's why, we really just don't do it the way we used to do it. Like, listen to Mike and Chris and those guys back in the day, like the dissection of 8th or 9th inning moves. That's an older form of conversation. We don't really do radio like that anymore. But there were at least 3 or 4 times, and Sal, you remember this because you're my partner, whether it was the pinch running, and I understand that there were just situations where there weren't a lot of viable options from an arms perspective. Right. So I kind of exonerate him with that to an extent. But there were some in-game situations where I just thought he missed the boat, whether it was a pinch hit, whatever. But I'm also okay with giving a young manager room to grow. Now, the problem is when you're the manager of the Yankees or the Mets or the coach of the Jets or the Giants or the Rangers, the big team Knicks in our city, you don't get afforded that growth curve, especially when you were pretty good last year. You get Juan Soto, you've got a massive payroll. I heard Boomer say this morning when you attach the luxury tax, like the threshold, that the Cohen tier, the Mets put $425 million into their product this year. So Met fans crave spotlight. Cohen craves being on the same plane as the Yankees, and that's a great thing conceptually. But when you do that, the manager is going to get dissected maybe a little bit more aggressively. I think he had a bad year. I would still bring him back, but, man, he's got a lot to prove.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot to prove.
100%. Great first year, rough second year. The pitching is where I'd lay off him a little bit, only because, okay, leave Peterson in, take Peterson out.
Look who pitched yesterday. Now, they didn't hit yesterday, but think about what imagine if they would have lost 7-1 or 7-5, like they scored a couple of runs, right? The Reds lose. Mets have a chance to get in, but because the Mets had nobody to pitch, they gave up 7 runs. They lose to the Marlins. Now, they lose 4-0. And listen, if that ball's 2 inches higher, you get on Pete's ball, which was the hardest hit ball of the season at 115, but that's also baseball. Then it's a 4-3 game. You get 3 runs scoring on that, and who knows what happens. But the fact that, and I will defend him to this extent as well, that Mendoza, and Holmes was great on Saturday, that Mendoza had to go out there and piece that together in a must-win game. It's laughable.
And he was doing the same thing for months down the stretch. Sports Talk on WFAN is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. More on Jaxson Dart coming up in a little bit. Joseph calling from Charlotte. What's up, Joseph?
Hey, man, this is definitely on Stearns and Mendoza. I know they're not going anywhere, but I called it in April, man. This guy does not – I feel like he doesn't know what he's doing. You got a $350 million payroll. You go to a season without one pitcher who you could say is a game one, no doubt playoff starter. You let Iglesias go, who was your second-best player last year, and the most important to your team chemistry. You cannot let him go. Quintana to the Brewers, $5 million. Like, this guy – it's laughable what he put on the field.
So how's that on Mendoza?
Game 162. With Mendoza, he did not treat the games during the season like they were important. Like, even going back to last week when Diaz pitched the 10th inning, 7 pitches. He didn't pitch the night before. But we couldn't bring him back in for the 11th, and we know we needed them to not go on the top of the 11th. He couldn't bring him back in.
That's fair.
I know, but think about what you're saying. Like, I'm not arguing that in that particular instance it's not fair or not, but this is still now how many days out that you're going to need Edwin Diaz. You can't pitch Diaz 2 innings every night. And that's the way the Mets
must-win games against the Nationals. We threw 7 pitches and was dominant in that top of the 10th.
I know, but Joseph, what happened in the bottom of the 9th inning or the bottom of the 10th? Why couldn't the Mets score a run?
Hey, man, they scored. They did score. That's how they tied it up.
No, they
came back and tied that game up.
They had an opportunity to win the game multiple times and didn't. Thank you for the call. So it's very easy to just say, oh, you should have stuck with Diaz another inning. Okay, so the Mets are built to have Edwin Diaz pitch 2 innings every night. Like, that is the answer, and that can't. The offense takes a hit, too. That's why, for me, if you're going to blame Stearns, blame Stearns. You can't blame Stearns and Mendy. It's either Mendy had more than enough to work with and didn't get it done, or we didn't have anything to work with. At least that's my mind.
I got you. I do see it differently. I do think you could blame both men, obviously, varying degrees of blame, and like separating the different. I got to tell you, and maybe this is just overly simplistic, but and I don't know that anybody associates the name that I'm going to throw out there as maybe the core reason why this happened to the Mets, and there's a lot of choices. It's Ryan Helsley. If you really, and now I can't get on Stearns for getting him. It was a good get. We lauded it. Right. He's a flamethrower, man.
Right, but maybe he should have done a little more homework on what they were getting in Helsley.
Perhaps. I mean, maybe you should have made better push for Bednar or whatever. But when you look at when he came here, his first game was on August 1st, right? And his first 8 games, lost, 7 games, pardon me. And every one of those games, he got knocked around. 3 blown saves, a loss, and 3 losses in that situation. And, again, you can always say, hey, if Soto was better in April, maybe that's one more win. If this guy turned a double play, that's one. I understand that. But to me, it seemed like, even though they were playing poorly before that, when Helsley was inserted into these high-leverage games against pretty good teams, the Brewers, the Phillies, and other Seattle,
in tight spots.
It really I felt like they lost any aura that they had remaining at that point.
BT Sal on the Fan, much more on the Mets when we come back. 888-808-1019.
All right, hey, this FanDuel Sportsbook app is obviously the home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who's going to win with FanDuel. FanDuel. Play any game and have a little fun with the Jets and the Dolphins. Hey, if you're a Mets fan, at least the Jets won't disappoint you tonight on national TV. Come on, Jets. And, of course, the Dolphins, they're playing tonight. The Bengals and the Broncos play as well. FanDuel will give it away all customers a 50% profit boost token or two 30% profit boost tokens. That's right. Get it on the action with a 50% profit boost token or two 30% profit boost tokens. That is a tongue twister. Make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/BT. Bet the Jets and the Dolphins. Come on, Jets. Bengals, Broncos, 50% profit boost token or two 30% profit boost tokens. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and also the official partner of us here at WFAN. 21 plus and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And for help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It's Evan and Kiki. Afternoons on the Fan 101.9 FM.
Abdul Carter, I know you're a rookie, but you came in talking like you were the man. You got a quarterback, Pat Mahomes, dead to rights for a sack. Sack him. Don't let him toss a ball 70 yards downfield and get a PI. Oh, and Drew Phillips. Can you play consistently, please?
Listen to Evan and Kiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. In tonight's later start on Monday Night Football, Cincinnati visits Denver with both teams looking for big bounce-back performances. The Bengals are coming off of their worst-ever beatdown, a 48 drubbing by the Vikings. Meantime, the Broncos have lost 2 straight on the final snap. Denver's D will make life difficult for Bengals backup Jake Browning. Broncos rob 31-17. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Sports fans, listen up. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer, and bladder leaks can be a side effect. That's why Depend is teaming up with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage screening. Because health is a long game, and it's yours to win. Now here's the cool part. Through November, Depend is contributing up to $300,000 to prostate cancer research by donating 25 cents for every purchase of Depend shields, guards, and Real Fit products. Void in Mississippi. Learn more at Depend.com.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Looking for the lowest price on name brand tires? Get to Town Fair Tire and get the guaranteed lowest price on any name brand tire. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
4 distinct all-electric Cadillacs. Some drive them for performance. Others drive them for the range. And some drive them because it's the only way to make an entrance. 3 different ways to turn every drive into an occasion. Whatever your reason, there's never been a better time to say, let's take the Cadillac. The all-electric Cadillac family of vehicles. Escalade IQ, Vistic, Optic, and Lyric. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Tiki Barber. You definitely don't want your heating system to fail this winter. So call my friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. Have them check your heating system before it breaks. I know Edison Heating and Cooling. They can fix anything. Go now to EdisonHVAC.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
When your name's on a paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Football season is here, and just like winning teams, your engagement should be all about the best. So if you're ready to pop the big question this season, why not visit the experts at London Jewelers? With top-notch professionals and cutting-edge technology, London Jewelers can help you select or even design the absolute perfect ring. So whether you're starting over or starting new, let the professionals at London Jewelers be a part of your journey. Visit any one of their convenient 6 locations across New York and New Jersey. London Jewelers, serving you and your family since 1926.
Talk New York sports here. The Fan.
Well, not every New York baseball team is finished for the season. All right, Wendy's Yankees turning point of the game contest. BT and Sal, Wendy's, the official hamburger of the Yankees, who are off today. That's going to be a tough matchup. Crochet, obviously, 3 in the Bronx. Hopefully, maybe not 3, could be 2. First one to identify last night's turning point, 866-540-WFAN. That's 866-540-9326, and you'll get a pair of tickets to an upcoming 2026 regular season home game in April. Obviously, Yankees tomorrow. That'll be a massive story on the station, massive story on the show. Today we're going, we'll get to Dart a little bit, of course, the Mets as well, but it's all from your flagship station for Yankees baseball, The Fan. One very, very quick thing. Ben Rice is phenomenal. I think Ben Rice is going to be the 3-hitter for the Yankees for a long time. I really do. I don't even remember seeing Don Mattingly go the other way to left center. I'm not saying he's going to be Mattingly. I don't want to get that hijacked. But the way that second home run to left center is a tough shot for a lefty. He has been so locked in. Now you're going to face a couple of the lefties with the Red Sox.
That's the biggest question.
We'll see if they play him.
Grisham and Rice.
I know, but he finished very, very strong. So the Yankees off today. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock start times, both Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I don't like that personally because of my SNY show, Baseball Night in New York. But whatever, it is nice that we don't have to be up wee hours in the morning. Disappointing to me that the Yanks didn't win the division, and you just have to tip your cap to Toronto here. Look, Yanks didn't do enough over the course of the regular season, but they finished strong. They did what they needed to do, and the Blue Jays just finished,
I know.
They finished strong themselves, and they pounded the Rays yesterday, so you tip your cap. I do think it changes a lot when you look at the landscape of the postseason now for the Yankees and their path. We could get more into that tomorrow. Speaking about the divisions, I got to pay off the bet today.
Yeah, so where is the Chase Utley? Why are you not in costume yet?
I'll do it. Well, because truth be told, I do have the whole thing. Well, I didn't think it was about me or the silly bet with Surfside.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give the Mets.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You got to give at least a little bit of a serious rip job on the Mets before we start maybe having a little more fun with it later. And it's not going to be fun for me. Like, this is a bad day. The Mets are eliminated. It's embarrassing. And now I have to, because I bet the Mets would beat the Phillies in the division with Clem from Surfside. I have to take my lumps. Like, got to pay off the bet. So I have my Chase Utley costume. We got the Surfside can. I figure we do that at 12 o'clock when we reset down with the King.
That's
fine. Then we'll have Clem at 12:40 so he can have his laughs and everybody can throw the tomatoes at me. And, I have to wear that shit. I couldn't wear the Chase Utley uniform and rip the Mets seriously at the top.
You didn't want that visual?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it again at 12, but I don't want it to take away from
I got you. Now, what if the Mets would have made the playoffs here, but they didn't win the division?
Good question.
You know what I mean? I feel like at that point, you're probably starting the show with that.
I was actually planning on starting this, and then I was just talking to a bunch of people about it, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll just do it at 12. I mean, 2 hours in the Utley costume or whatever, that's enough. And I also, like I said, didn't want it to be about me. It's about the Mets, and it's about letting Mets fans have their voice heard here at BT on their frustrations from what was, in my opinion, the most embarrassing Mets season of all time in 2025. Anthony is in Mineola. What's up, Ant?
Hey, what's up, guys? How's everything?
Good. How are you?
What's up, Ant?
Oh, So I just want to start off with saying, at the end of the day, everyone that calls your show, including yourselves, are fans, and we all have our different opinions. So here's mine. So the Mets season, for me, went downhill because our first baseman can't underhand toss to a guy who, granted, in the second half was horrible, but at the time was the second best pitcher in the National League. His ERA, his whip, everything. So we come on here, right? People call up your show with their opinions, and they want to bash the GM. So the GM got Griffin Canning off a scrap heap. He was a top 4 pitcher in baseball before he had a freak injury. Senga was pitching amazing.
But he didn't get Senga.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
Yeah.
But it goes like the first 2 months of the year, we arguably had the second to first or the best pitching staff in the National League.
It's too bad it's a 6-month season.
Yeah.
Right. I get that. So now here's my vitriol. You guys last year went ham on Soto for saying he was hitting free agency right after the Yanks got eliminated and lost the World Series. But we want to give Pete Alonso, who just had his best year hitting behind Soto, right? Mm-hmm. And just announced that he's opting out 5 minutes after they just had their worst season since 2007. Mm-hmm. And we want to give him a pass?
Yeah.
A pass for what?
Well, can I tell you why I'm going to give him a pass, Ant? I think that's a very interesting observation because maybe by some measurements it doesn't seem like we're being fair because it's two different takes. Here's the thing.
Right. Because
I'm going to tell you why, though. I think that Pete's been disrespected by the Mets. So I think that Pete's got that latitude to say that. And I don't think there was any anger I just think he was very honest. I think he's a little goofy in a good way. Right. And, I think with Soto it was a calculation, all business. I think Pete just realizes. Right. I don't think that Pete thinks the Mets really want him.
Okay, so hold on a second. So the Mets gave him a 1-year deal. They made him the highest paid first baseman before Guerrero got his contract.
Yeah, they made him beg for it too, basically. Wait all winter.
But wait. Here's my point.
Okay.
How come no one else offered him a contract? How come nobody came even close to what the Mets gave him? They gave him that money out of grace.
All right, so what is your point? Do you not want Pete back?
No, hold on a second. I want Pete back because I see how he's hitting behind Soto.
Right.
But you guys went ham on Soto most of the year.
We did not.
And last year.
No, we didn't. First of all, two different things, and thanks for the call, Anthony. I had no issue with Soto saying what he was. If anything, it was needling the Yankee fan because I was saying the whole time last year Soto was going to be a Met. Juan Soto was going to be a Met, and then the way that he handled himself immediately after they got eliminated showed you all we heard last year was how much Soto loved the Bronx and loved the pinstripes. And I was trying to tell you, based on Soto, his agent, the way he has operated, he doesn't care about the pinstripes, the Yankees, or anything else. And that was indicative seconds after the World Series was over, where Soto basically made it about his free agency. So it's a totally different story. Pete Alonso, I do think, wants to be a Met. I also think Pete Alonso wants to get paid. He wants to get paid what he believes he's worth. I don't know why the league disrespected him last year in free agency. I thought for sure he'd get more than what he ended up getting with the Mets. But I have no issue with it. So it's a different circumstance, though. Juan Soto proved last year what I was saying that he didn't care about the pinstripes or the Yankees. He wanted the most money. And guess what? That's what happened.
Listen, I think over time, just following Soto, even going back to, and that didn't really bother me when he said that because there was a point, all right, where I thought, man, maybe he is going to come back. Like, where he was just feeling the right feel, the bleacher love, and with Judge and winning and getting to the World Series and having big knocks and just feeling like he looked perfect, like central casting. It's a Yankee. But when he was given a few opportunities over the course of the season to profess his love and maybe his long-term commitment to the Yankees, he never did.
Right.
So I had to smarten up. I'm like, all right, maybe he's going to bounce. So when he did say what he said after the World Series, I was fairly callous to it because I was preparing myself for a tough negotiation with the Mets. Pete is different. I mean, again, Pete basically had to wait all winter before the Mets said, all right, we'll give you 1 plus an opt-out. Now, you can say, as the last caller did, well, where were the other offers? That's fair. And it's not up to the Mets to say, hey, nobody wants to give you 2 years, but we'll give you 5 because we love you because we're Pete. You're Pete. That's dumb business. But there could be a middle road. Yeah. And I think that Pete, deep down, I think he loves the Mets fan. I think he loves playing for the Mets and in New York. But I think that he is hurt. And he's done a good job concealing it, but it's not his job to kiss Cohen and Stearns' ass when they let him twist in the wind all winter.
He's also not robotic the way that Soto was about it. There are emotions with Pete. He's been here a long time. He does love it. I agree, BT. He loves being a Met. Now, I agree he's going to love getting a big contract even more.
Yep.
And saying, hey, look, I've done my job. If you don't want to pay me the way that you paid Nimmo or Lindor or Soto, and I'm going to find my money somewhere else. That's going to be the biggest question. Will he, in fact, find the money somewhere else? But I had no issue at all with the way Alonso, he was asked the question, he answered it honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And when we get the cliched canned answers, we're like, well, why can't you just talk to us like human beings? He does, and now we got a problem with it. And by the way, last year, I didn't think there was any way he was getting a big contract. I think this winter, not big like 6 years, but I think his market's going to be a lot better than it was a year ago. I really do.
More of your calls when we come back. BT and Sal on the Fan.
The home of the NFL on Westwood One is WFAN.
He is in for the touchdown!
The Bengals are in the Mile High City taking on the Broncos. 8:15 tonight. Monday Night Football is on the Fan. 101.9 FM and always live on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions, participation, and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1/8/2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Find excellence in every detail in a new Volvo. At Volvo Cars Ramsey, 8-time winner of the Volvo Excellence Award. Choose from excellent offers on a new Volvo XC40, XC60, or a new 2025 Volvo XC90. View our entire inventory at VolvoCarsRamsey.com. Find excellence in a new Volvo at Volvo Cars Ramsey, where it's all about you.
Mnexspike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
Lunch was great. Greenwich Village is a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's creoninfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Hey everyone, this is Chris Hodge from TakingVegas.com, and each and every day you can text the word WIN to the number 545454. Again, text the word WIN to the number 545454 and get our best bet of the night every single night for free. You can also visit TakingVegas.com. 10 great handicappers there, but tonight we have a free best bet. It's yours. Text the word WIN to the number 54545.
Kick off the new season in a Mercedes-Benz from Mercedes-Benz of Edison. Upgrade to a new GLC, GLE, or GLS, or take advantage of their loaner-to-owner program. Buy or lease a 2025 X-Loaner and enjoy a like-new Mercedes-Benz. Now at Mercedes-Benz of Edison.
Lowe's knows that free makes everything better. That's why our rewards members get free standard shipping on the things they need and want, starting at Silver Key status every day. Savings for rewards members add up fast, so why wait? Join for free today. Lowe's, we help. You save. Not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/shipping terms. Subject to change.
Our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Get the latest on the Giants and Jets on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
And this report brought to you by Ray Cattina Mercedes-Benz of Edison. While the Mets are heading home for the winter, the Yankees moving on to the postseason. Yankees-Red Sox tomorrow night. The Yankees sweeping the Orioles over the weekend. They've got 8 straight wins into the postseason. Aaron Judge, the American League batting champion with Susan postgame, says the team's peaking at the right time.
That's what it's all about. Like I said, 162 games, you're going to have the peaks and valleys, but, we're peaking at the right time. Just got to keep it going in October.
Okay, you ready? Garrett Crochet, Max Fried. How does it sound?
I can't wait.
That is the Game 1 pitching matchup tomorrow night at the stadium. As for those Mets, we'll hear from GM David Stearns today at 3:30 p.m. Disappointing season comes to an end, losing in Miami. The Mets finished 83-79. Pete Alonso did confirm he is opting out of his contract and will become a free agent. The Giants beating the Chargers on Sunday, win number 1 and start number 1 for Jaxson Dart.
Really just proud of the guys being able to battle through some adversity throughout the game, and it's not always going to be the cleanest, but I was just happy that we were able to come out with the win.
But not happy that Malik Neighbors suffered what appears to be a serious knee injury. The Giants will be in New Orleans on Sunday. The Jets face the Dolphins tonight on Monday Night Football. Bengals play the Broncos, and last night the Cowboys and Packers played to a 40-40 tie. This report brought to you by Moderna. It's currently 74 in Central Park, and that's what's happening. I'm Jerry Recco on WFAN, now streaming our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
The BT Sal Show on the Fan is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the now ousted New York Mets. Hard to actually believe. We'll get to Jaxson Dart in a little bit. We'll have Larry Fitzgerald in studio with us. I mean, if you don't laugh, you're going to cry about it. Saturday morning, now you know me, I was resigned to the fact that they were not going to get in. I just truly...
So was Hoff, both you guys.
Here's my, I don't want to say issue with Hoff, but Hoff wasn't alone, that there were a lot of people that I felt, and I can't speak for everybody else, I'm just telling you how I felt. Yeah. There were a lot of people that were always anticipating the other shoe to drop and always anticipating that negative, they're going to blow it, they're going to blow it. Now, maybe Hoff had his reasons based on merit, maybe some others did. I didn't see it that way. And then when I did, I jumped ship. Even with that, by Saturday morning, I was like, all right. Like getting ready to watch the game Saturday, I'm thinking, don't do this to us, man. Like, get in, get beat by the Dodgers, whatever. That's a different level of pain, a different level of assessment. don't lose to the Marlins again and not get in. And then they win Saturday, and of course, then yesterday.
Great.
I will admit, yesterday I was bothered.
How could you not be?
Well,
I'd be distraught if I was a Mets fan right now.
I watched the entire post game because I'm one of those who like to sulk in it. Like, I want to feel their pain. I want to hear Mendoza. I want to hear Lindor, Alonso, Soto, and then I shut it off once I get to Senga because I don't want to hear anything from Kodai Senga.
Senga, I changed my body. What the hell was he saying? Get out of here.
Lost. Get him out. Get him out. If I am Cohen, I'm walking in there today like, you see it, you see it, you out, irrational or not. Like, dude, this type of embarrassment is unacceptable.
Well, I remember saying, and I did think that the Mets would somehow find a way to get in. I said that on Friday. I said that the week before that. Hoff, I think it was September 8th or September 9th. It was early as September. He said that the Mets were going to collapse, and I guess he nailed it. But I didn't think that they would. But I remember saying, just seeing the other side of the coin, like, well, if it doesn't go well and then they don't make it, we're going to learn the temperament of Steve Cohen. Like, is there any volatility? Like, if he's the modern day George in terms of spending money and trying to elevate, and like, what is his threshold for being embarrassed? Because I don't care how much money you have, 15, 16, 18, $20 billion. When you flush money down the chute, it's not so much about the money, it's about the endeavor that is now mocked by a lot of people around baseball, which leads you to being embarrassed. And brilliant people and successful people don't like being embarrassed. So I am a little surprised that we heard 20 hours ago, immediately after, from Martino, Mendoza's back. I'm a little surprised at that.
Yeah, I still think it was the right move.
I do too, but I'm still surprised from Cohen.
Yeah, well,
I thought he might snap on this. This is snap worthy. You got to at least give me that.
But I also wouldn't want him to snap. Like, I want wholesale changes. To me, acting the way that George used to, irrationally at times, like, you got to be somewhat measured here. And you could be angry, you could be embarrassed at first. When you're making the decisions, like, it's one thing for the fans to say a certain thing. It's one thing for us to say a certain thing. When the owner of the organization, if he's acting emotionally, that's not the best way to do business necessarily.
Fair enough. You know what, Sal? I hear you on that. But then I would say, okay, once the anger and shock slowly dissipates, and for Met fans, it's going to be a slow withdrawal, unfortunately. But when that happens for your owner, we're going to find out his tolerance for substandard play. And I don't mean with the manager or with Stearns. It is still absolutely my belief. Hey, guys, just tuned in. You want to get the open. I mean, it was good. A free Odyssey app. Check it out. I believe they got to take a wrecking ball to this roster. I would get rid of Nimmo.
Well, he might.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I want to see how he responds. If you're not going to follow the manager, that's fine. You got to change some pieces, some big pieces here.
I think the first conversation, they're probably having these conversations maybe literally right now, because David Stern's going to speak today at the end of the year presser at 3:30. So they're probably meeting at Citi Field. Like, if I'm Steve Cohen, I'm calling everybody into my office, whoever's relevant, whether it's Stearns, Mendy, whoever else in that front office, and saying, what happened? Here's what I spent. Here's what all the other teams spent. Why is my team on the outside looking in? I hired you to put this together, and I hired you to manage this team. Neither of you did a good enough job. So why did this happen? And now you're going to get one last. And now I don't know if I'd be that harsh, maybe, but maybe I would, because I'd be that angry and that embarrassed. And now I'll give you another chance, because I'm not going to make any irrational decisions based on emotion here. But you've got to fix this, and you've got to fix it now. This can't happen again. And if it happens again, then there are going to be repercussions. So I'm sure there's going to be scapegoats on the coaching staff, hitting coach, pitching coach. Like, I'd probably get rid of them all. Mm-hmm. Not to be insensitive to the people who are going to lose their jobs, but you can't have something like this. This is how people get fired.
If they fire the first base coach, that's what I can't believe I'm defending him for. That's one of the most unfair things I've ever seen. That guy was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Come on, dude. Soto stole 40 bases.
But think about it.
What?
Think about this. In all likelihood, a lot of coaches are going to lose their job. Do you really think that this is the coach's fault?
No, absolutely not.
So that's the point. So it's just a pound of flesh. Yeah. Because he's not going to fire Stearns or Mendy.
Well, then that's not a good owner.
No.
If you're just firing something for a cosmetic change, how about you get to the root of the issue?
Yeah, well, I think that they're going to. I think that some of the coaches clearly didn't.
The third base coach got to go. Yeah. Awful. He was a mess.
I agree with that. They can't score runners from second base on a base hit, which
coach,
just drives me nuts.
Goodbye.
Well, you could say pitching coach. Like, I've never seen anything like it. I know Hefner was talked about in a big way, and everybody loves Hefner. Like, you couldn't find somebody to get you 5 innings.
I know, but there's a lot of evidence with Hefner. I would spare him. I don't know if they will. I would spare him.
Either way,
Griffin Canning looked good before he got hurt. There was some evidence.
I personally, now again, it's hard for me to say because I'm not in there with the meetings. I personally would clean house, even the first base coach. I don't care. I'd send the message that this is unacceptable. Get a new coaching staff in here. I'd also let Mendy pick his staff. Like, they didn't do that. I remember talking to Willie Randolph. I don't know if this was on the air or off the air. I hope it was on the air, but I talked to Willie about it, and he, I think, was in a line to be one of the coaches. Remember, this was like reported.
I don't remember Willie being really seriously thought, or what, to coach third, be a bench coach?
I'm pretty sure that there was some story that got out there to be a part of the staff, and then it kind of fell apart.
I don't remember that.
What I would do, because they don't do that nowadays. They don't have these managers pick their staff. Like, that to me doesn't make any sense. I'd want to surround the manager with the people that he trusts and he feels comfortable with. So if it were me, now I know this is maybe odd timing where you're going to have a lame duck manager going into next year, let him pick his staff, but that's what I would do. And then obviously the bigger issue, because it's not just about the coaches, it's about the players. How are you going to fix what you believe is broken about this team?
Nemo, see ya. I'd start there. I gave you a couple of things, but those that listen, we're going to have these discussions all winter. And we really are.
BT and Sal on the Fan, 888-808-1019. Chris is in Nanuet. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Chris.
What's up, guys? How you doing this morning?
What's up, buddy?
So, honestly, I think the Mets are pretty broken.
Yeah, we got to let you go there, Chris. Or
sorry, dude.
I'll put you on hold. You get a bad line, so talk with Hoff maybe and see if you can get a better line here. Dan is calling from Bayside. What's up, Dan?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. But a point that never brought up, and I'm as dissatisfied as anybody. I mean, this is an organizational. To get knocked out by the Marlins 3 times at the end of the year in 20 years, it's unfathomable. But I'll tell you this about Steve Cohen. As much of a Met fan as he is, as much of a businessman as he is, it's business first. And when you look outside that outfield and you look at what he's developing, and again, nobody brings this up, and I know Steve Cohen's going to say today, I'm a Met fan and this and that. David Stern's decisions are what led us to the end of this. But Steve Cohen is still in line to get that casino. And I can guarantee you right now, that means more to Steve Cohen than the Mets making the playoffs. He will never admit it. He will never get on the radio and say it. But I guarantee that's what his World Series is. It's not ours. Because I'm so disgusted with that.
First of all, I disagree with that. Second of all, what is that? Like, you have an issue with Cohen? I'm confused.
No, look, we all wanted Cohen to be here. We all wanted the Wilpons out. But as much as we want Cohen to make a decision about Mendoza, we want him to make a decision about the GM, he's not doing it. Those guys are coming back. Yeah, maybe some players might be gone.
Yeah.
But this is such an organizational thing.
Yeah, but Dan, he did make a decision, Dan, and his decisions to retain them. You can disagree with that. That's fine. You don't think you could have 2 true passions? I think that's unfair to Cohen, to make it just about the casinos and just about the building up of the Citi Field area. I mean, why can't you want to do both? Like, I love coaching my kids, and I love doing a radio show. You can have more than one passion.
Cohen's not the guy to go after. Like, think about what you're saying. What, you wanted to fire Stearns and Mendoza? They just went to the NLCS a year ago. I mean, good God, you guys also wanted Billy Epler fired after you won 101 games. Well, how's that worked out? Now, he got fired for different reasons. Billy Epler saved the season. He saved the season with McClain, Tong, and Sproat. Like, you can't just hire and fire general managers every 2 years. Doesn't work like that. Well, he had a good year last year, so he's the greatest. Oh, bad year this year, so he's the worst. No, it takes years. Like, Stearns is here, and I would anticipate, BT, he's going to be here for at least another several years. I don't even think you could properly judge him next year. Now, almost every move that he made as it pertained to this year was a failure. But odds are that won't happen to that level again next year. But you've got to show whether it's growth in the farm system, players coming up ready to contribute, a different style of player, more versatile, better speed, defense. Like, you got to give Stearns his time to draft and develop his own farm system.
You can change the GMs and the coaches a lot, and then you'll be the Jets and the Giants for basically 15 years. Good luck with that. Or the Knicks back in the day when they kept doing it. When you have stability, you don't run away from it just because you're disappointed in the result. Now, that's not a license for the next 10 years or even 5 for Stearns to build this out the right way. But no, I wouldn't fire him either because it's just too early. Here's where I would be really angry at Cohen. Let's just say he does a bait and switch, which I don't even think he would ever do this, but let's say he gets the casinos, because that's what the last caller said, right? He gets the casinos, the area is built up, he makes a gazillion more dollars, right? His net worth goes through the roof even more, and then he says, after he gets everything that he wants, okay, he says, you know what? I'm going to dial back the expenditures here, and I'm going to go from the top payroll or the second payroll to the 17th or the 16th, like it was from the Wilpons for a little, with the Wilpons. Then I could see the Met fans saying, dude, you turned on us, man. Yeah. We thought you were this, and now because you got what you wanted, now you're going to go back to a way that we were trying to get away from forever with the Wilpons. That's never going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't question, is he a great owner? Is he a good owner? He's still also an owner who's learning a little bit. Correct. He's only been 4 or 5 years, whatever. So there is a learning curve with it. You can be pissed off. You could say that Cohen's a bad owner. You could say that he should fire everybody. I don't think that that's accurate. And I don't think that's really reflective of what he's been so far. However, the team, I'd get rid of at least 5 prominent guys. No way I would bring them back.
Yeah, like for years, it was about the ownership because they didn't spend enough. And it's not just about the money. All you could ask for from an owner is that he does everything within his power to put the franchise in a place to be successful. Steve Cohen has done that. Now, they haven't been successful. The offseason was a success getting Juan Soto. The in-season was a disaster because they failed to win. Like, we talked about it the whole time. Yeah, it's great to go get Juan Soto and great to spend the money. Now what follows is they have to have sustained success. That's the hardest part. He's still learning, but it's not his fault. This is not on Steve Cohen. You want the owner to spend, hire the right people, put his organization in a place to where they can be successful. He's done that. If it goes sideways and they continue to lose, he's going to hold the guys accountable and make changes. Like, Steve Cohen, to me, is the least of it. You should be happy when you wake up today as a Met fan that Steve Cohen's the owner.
Now, I know Stearns is going to speak today at 3:30. I'm sure Evan Otiki will play that for a little bit. But I'll tell you one thing that I would want to hear from Cohen today. Now, it wouldn't change the result of the weekend, the result of the season. This just always resonates with me, even though it doesn't change the bottom line situation. And I don't think I'm very different from a lot of Met fans who are hurting right now because I've been hurt with a lot of my teams. When you're hurting, you want to know that your owner's bothered by it. And that's not necessarily by a rash firing, to your point before. But I would like, whether it's a tweet, and he's been very quiet lately on social media, whether it's eventually getting around to, a state of the Mets, look the Met fan in the eye, communicate to them, we did not expect this. This is unacceptable. I have faith in the GM and the manager, but we are going to change a lot because you deserve better. He can't be quiet.
I expect we are going to get that.
I would think so, but you got to hear that at some point.
Justin is in North Jersey. What's up, Justin?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good. What's up?
Hey, first time with you, BT Sal. You and I commiserated a decade ago after Terry Collins abdicated his authority in Game 5.
Oh, man, a long time ago.
So many things to say about the Mets, but Mendoza, first thing I would say is I don't have any insight into how the organization works. Is he getting pregame memos from Stearns as to how he's going to call the game? Certainly he deserves some of the blame as the manager, not even a question about that. But are his hands tied as far as what he's doing?
Well, they weren't a year ago. I mean, that was reported upon, and I would bet that it's a collaborative effort as always, and ultimately he's going to have the final say. But what I didn't like this year is that, and thank you for the call, Justin, good to hear from you, even if it is 10 years later. Get back to us, come on. What I would say is that last year, Mendoza had the guts to go against the numbers in certain cases and went with his gut feel for a lot of things. And the front office, to their credit, allowed him to do so without repercussions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Last year, more good than bad. This year, without knowing the exact inner workings, just from watching from afar, it felt to me like Mendy was more by the books and as if the front office was more hands-on, or at least he followed what they said would be the better thing to do, whether it be the lineup, whether it be playing certain guys, whatever it may be. It felt to me like this year, Mendy was more by the book, and then at the end of it could say, well, you guys told me to make this lineup, here's the lineup. You guys told me to play this guy, here's what I did. Like, hard to blame him. You told me to bring in Helsley in the 8th inning, Rogers in the 7th, Diaz in the 9th. Here we go, and it didn't work. Like that to me is how Mendy managed this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I really did know. I can't delineate between the two. I see. Here's the thing: if he started to acquiesce because of whether it's internal pressures, whatever it might be, well, then I would say, well, then to Mendoza, with all due respect, that's weak. Because if you did manage more with the gut your first year and you were successful, why the hell would you change the approach so radically in year 2? So I don't really know what.
Maybe he succumbed to the pressure, different expectations.
I mean, it could be. Maybe it just became more collaborative organically. I'm not sure. But what I am pretty sure about is, you got a first baseman who might not be back. You got a second baseman that needs to go. You got a shortstop who kicked the ball around all year. You got a third baseman situation that was unsettled for most of the season. Your catching situation stinks until it's further resolved. Nimmo's got to go. Center field was awful, and Soto was terrific. So, again, we could focus on the pitching, right? We could really focus on the pitching, but this is not a lap. Trust me, I'm not trying to be that guy, but the one thing that struck me most of the year about the Mets is that I didn't think their talent was as good as some other people did, and when you lose again to the Marlins and you lose to these bad teams, that's probably the case.
BT and Sal on the Fan will work the Giants into the conversation. Huge Sunday for Big Blue. How about that? And unfortunately, got to wait the news. The news of Malik Neighbors. We will talk with Larry Fitzgerald in studio when we come back. The city's biggest indoor pickleball event is coming back October 10th and 11th, and it will sell out. Sign up for the fun or for the cash prizes. Go to 1010wins.com/pickleball for all the info. The pickleball tournament is presented by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com.
All right, Sal. Total Orthopedics, Long Island's premier immediate orthopedic practice. Whether it's a sports-related injury or something a little more complex, your Total Ortho has locations throughout Long Island with diagnostic equipment right on site. And now Total Ortho Express offers 4 convenient walk-in services with no appointment necessary, from the field or the sports court straight to a top-rated walk-in orthopedic doctor. Just visit TotalOrthoExpress.com. That's TotalOrthoExpress.com, because time doesn't heal wounds, they do.
Jeter on the run, makes a one-handed running catch, and dives into the photographer's area. Oh, what a play by Jeter! You can't believe it!
The age-old rivalry heats back up just in time for fall.
Hey, you ready? Garrett Crochet, Max Fried, how does it sound?
Oh, I can't wait.
The Bombers start their journey toward glory and a record 28th World Championship.
His second 2-run shot.
Boy, and he loves that right field corner, doesn't he?
The electricity in the Bronx will be delivered to you like no one else can deliver.
Goodbye! 2-run homer!
Right here on your exclusive home for New York Yankees baseball. 1019 FM, WFAN, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
We could tell you what it's like to drive the Nissan Rogue and tell you all about its performance capabilities, like its VC turbo engine. It's I can go virtually anywhere type of freedom. Nice. But you don't have to take our word for it. Go drive it for yourself. You're up. Experience the power of the Nissan Rogue.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Get 0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Murano. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. For well-qualified buyers, example, 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to Nissan Motor Acceptance Company credit approval, not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends September 30th, 2025.
You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday this season, all the way through the AFC Championship game. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT or visit oil.slomans.com.
We're always talking New York sports on The Fan.
Hey, football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown in the game, but his teammate scores instead. If this happens, BetMGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. With BetMGM's second chance offer, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus years of age or older to wager and physically present in New York and New Jersey only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. For New Jersey, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Move and be moved in the Mazda CX-30. With advanced safety features, intuitive technology, and a refined, comfortable interior, you'll love every drive. Right now, lease the CX-30 for just $199 a month. Visit your local Mazda dealer or go to MazdaUSA.com for more information.
Start your engines and your savings with Roto-Rooter. Download the Roto-Rooter app for exclusive discounts. Plus, enter to win the Speed Stakes VIP Race Day experience right from the app. You pick the race. We'll cover the tickets, flight, hotel, and race day cash. Plumbing problems? Trust a team that operates like a pit crew. Roto-Rooter for fast and reliable service. Get the Roto-Rooter app now and race towards big savings and maybe even the checkered flag. Click on Speed Stakes within the Roto-Rooter app for details.
Let me tell you about this new Pretzel Cheddar Club. Hey, I'm Carlos.
And I'm Ebony. And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club
is the tangy Dijon with the pretzel bun. It takes it to a whole nother level.
It goes perfectly with the chicken and the cheddar cheese and the bacon.
Man, you know how much you love bacon. And I love the different varieties. Grilled, spicy, original. It gets you nice and excited for fall.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, The Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT Sal back on The Fan. WFAN NFL football is powered by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today. So, unfortunately, we just got the worst fears confirmed for Giant fans, and that is, in fact, this is according to Adam Schefter, that Malik Neighbors tore his ACL on Sunday after an MRI confirmed that, so he is done for a while. In studio to help us talk about that and more about the Giants and the NFL, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry, thanks for coming by. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I really appreciate you guys having me this morning. Well, and to all the fans out there, sorry to hear about Malik.
Yeah, so all right, so help us, take us through. You played on that field. A lot is being made of it. I know Odell Beckham Jr. tweeted something about it. People talked about it for years. Is there something in your mind, Larry, that's different about the MetLife turf versus elsewhere, why these guys keep getting hurt?
You know, honestly, I only played at MetLife 3 times, I think, and I never had any issues with the turf. I mean, it was good, solid turf. But I think as a fan, you have to take in consideration that MetLife hosts 2 National Football League teams. And they probably, out of all the stadiums in the country, probably do the most concerts and other extracurricular activities. So for them to have a grass surface stadium would be very difficult, as much as they're moving it in and out. And you don't want grass with seams, and poor grass is no good either. I mean, so I really feel like their options are pretty difficult.
They tried that years ago, Larry. I was at the game, with the Jets-Giants game, the preseason game, when the third one was pretty important, as you remember, and Jason Sehorn ripped up his knee. They put the trays on the old Meadowlands field, so it's just not feasible. What kind of recovery, even with modern medicine, is he looking back, and where he can really trust his cuts and his body 100%? What's he looking at here?
I mean, if he goes to, say, Dr. Neil Elatrage out in L.A. and gets his knee done, I mean, he's done, Tom Brady, he did Odell Beckham's, he's done Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's done a lot of the Kobe Bryant. We got Kobe back from his Achilles injury.
Okay.
Like, he goes to one of the best doctors. I say 9 months. He'd be ready to be able to get back and compete for training camp.
No restrictions. So week 1 next year, everything's good. He's going to be Malik Neighbors.
He's 22 years old. Long as he follows protocol and he's diligent about doing what he needs to do to get himself ready, he should be back for training camp.
How much worse, just out of curiosity, is an ACL compared to an Achilles? We all think the Achilles is a million times worse. Is it really truly that much worse?
It's the kiss of death, especially for a skilled player. You just lose that pop and that the ability to accelerate and quick change of direction. You can do it, but it's not the same. The ACL now is kind of, most guys are able to come back and perform at a really high level. You think about the guys who've done it, and they're able to come back and perform.
Good. Okay.
How were you able to stay so healthy throughout your entire NFL career, which should be soon a Hall of Fame career here? You were able to be durable, though, as well. How was that the case for, 17 years?
Yeah, I don't think players talk often enough about luck. And there's luck associated with everything. And then there's bad luck associated with some things, like the Mets. That's just bad. I'm just saying, that's just bad luck,
baby.
With that payroll, you should be guaranteed a playoff spot. No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it 100 though. And there's situations I was in that I got very fortunate that the diagnosis wasn't worse, right? And so I definitely worked hard and I prepared. I did everything, but I just was fortunate.
How about from the Giants' perspective overall, the energy that they had yesterday for the first time in quite some time?
Sounded good.
Place was insane. We haven't seen that. It was half Chiefs fans the night before. For years, it's been dead, flying planes over. So it was great to have that energy. Rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart making his starting debut, and then to have that injury to Neighbors. How do they overcome that in that locker room to kind of build on that positive momentum now?
Well, you can't replace his production. You can't replace it. But they got some young, talented players. I will continue to get Scatterboo the ball, find innovative ways to get him in the screen game, in the passing game. The guy's electric. He's hard-nosed. He's physical. He runs like Brandon Jacobs back in the day. The guy is a bruiser, but has the ability to catch it out the backfield as well. He should be Jackson's favorite, toy, to be playing with. But it just sucks that he doesn't have the, his most dynamic offensive weapon. But I think they have a legitimate shot of being able to compete. Right now the Commanders are reeling a little bit. They don't have, all of their guys healthy. Obviously the Eagles are really good. The Cowboys offensively last night look like a juggernaut. Defensively looked a little rough. I think they can make some noise. And I really like Jaxson. I like them in the preseason. And it's nice to be able to see him get a shot to lead.
You played on some really good teams, played on a lot of bad teams, quarterbacks, you've seen it all. How dispiriting is it? Because Sal just said it did sound different. Like MetLife it just popped. It felt like the old Giants, at least for a day, and Dart definitely showed real promise. But when you're on a team and the quarterback ain't it, not that he's a scrub, but he's just not a next-level guy, how tough is that on the whole franchise? It's got to swallow everything up negatively, no?
No, you're a professional. This is what your job is, right? And it's your job to be able to overcome the disadvantages or the obstacles that you have to face. You don't want those thoughts to be permeating throughout your mind, right? The ball comes my way. It doesn't matter if you're throwing it to me, Kurt Warner's throwing it to me, Eli Manning throwing it to me, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. And that's the kind of mentality you have to take. You're doing a job that you dreamed about doing. You're making a king's ransom doing it.
Yep.
Let's not forget the opportunity.
Yeah, but that's you, and you weren't only a special player, you're a special person. So think about the divas at the wide receiver position. What you're saying, I know that you lived your life that way. Is everybody else? I mean, it's got to bring.
We can use an example like this. A.J. Brown, we can both all agree he's a top 5 receiver in the National Football League. His numbers do not show that.
No.
I don't see him complaining. I don't see him slamming helmets on the sidelines. His fingerprints are on the outcome of those games by the coverage he takes away when the big runs happen.
Yeah.
And, is he capable of going for 1,500? Absolutely. He is that dynamic of a player. But the system that they're running right now, it just doesn't allow him to make those plays and have those same contributions. And so, there are guys out there who
Tyreek Hill's not happy. He's one of them.
Course. But, I don't see him coming out and making some outlandish statements. I know he's had a couple tough off seasons and things, so he needs to play it the right way. But, yeah, he's another guy who is capable of going for 1,600 every year and is not getting those opportunities right now.
BT and Sal in studio with Larry Fitzgerald. What brings you in today, Larry?
I'm here with DraftKings, and, as you know, these games are always so much fun, and people like to have a good time, and betting is something that, we all enjoy. And it's always important to remember that, this is it's better when it's for fun. To be able to have a good time doing it, and just want to make sure people are being responsible as they're placing their wagers.
Oh, there's certain players that you will follow, whether it's a prop bet or just a game, wide receivers specifically, that you are a fan of around the league?
I'm much more of a over/under guy. I don't like to fool for any individuals. I like to just kind of just hope that like the Cowboys. Let's score. Let's score.
You mean from a team perspective, like Dallas to score X amount of points, or for the whole game?
On the whole game.
I like the hey Sal. I like the over/unders too.
I just like to see if the people are scoring touchdowns and kick field goals from long distances is better for everybody. So that's kind of more of my speed.
And by the way, how much has the kicking game changed the philosophies and the pressures of being a coach?
Yeah, I mean, you essentially, if you cross the 50-yard line, you can check 3 points.
It's a wrap.
And I think it gives so much more versatility. It makes it much more difficult on defenses. I mean, you see this line, that red line that they have on the field lane.
The target line.
You got to get to this line. That yard line keeps moving back every single year as these guys.
It does.
I mean, Brandon Aubrey hit a field goal. It was a couple weeks ago
64, right?
64 to get to push the game into over. I mean,
Steelers hit the 60-yarder to beat the Jets.
I mean, it's. Like these guys kick 60-yarders like it's like just walking around the block now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun to watch.
It's not good for the game, though.
It's great for the game.
No, why is it great?
Why is it not?
I'm going to tell you why. Because you got some 180-pound weakling trotting out onto the field when guys have put their life on the line for 59 minutes, and this guy prances out, and he's going to decide who wins the game? Come on, man. There's no way you got to feel me on that.
No, I don't. I think it's great, and I think it's good for offenses. But then you have plays that are dynamic, like last night. You see the Cowboys get that block PAT. Essentially, that cost the Packers that game last night. They get that PAT. The strategy in the fourth quarter changes a lot. And so, I just love the fact that special teams is being talked about. It's a huge component of the game, and the teams that take it seriously, gives themselves a real competitive advantage.
You have guys around the league that you like to watch. Garrett Wilson here in New York, Neighbors, obviously pre-injury here, but are there guys around the league that are Larry Fitzgerald favorites?
Yeah, man. And if we go, I will go to L.A. with the Chargers. Keenan Allen. I mean, he's having a late career resurgence. I love Mike Evans. I think he's the most underrated receiver in this generation. I mean, all the dude does is go out there and go for 1,000 every single year, and he's consistent. He's available. He does it with Tom Brady. He does it with Baker Mayfield. He does it with Jameis Winston. Whoever else is quarterback there for the last 12 years, he's gotten it done. I really love Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I got a chance to have dinner with him 2 years ago, and to see him in terms of his stature.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 5'10" on a good day, 190 pounds. The guy plays like he's 6'4", 240 pounds, tough, durable, excitable, great blocker. He can beat you over the top. He can beat you intermediate. He's just so versatile in what he does. So those are a few guys that I really enjoy.
What do you think is the most important characteristic of a wide receiver to be great?
Dependability. When I throw you the ball, you catch it.
That simple.
Where if the route is supposed to be 12 yards and you're supposed to break out flat, you're doing what you there's nothing more reliable for a quarterback than a guy who does what he's asked to do. His consistency.
Even more so than like intuition on what the corner might do, or burst, or operating in small spaces. I'm surprised. I mean, I believe you because you would know. I wouldn't. I'm surprised that that's your answer, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's something to be said about somebody who does what they're coached to do. I mean, it's a great thing. I remember when I was with Kurt Warner first, and I was going up and catching these passes a certain way. He's like, Larry, that's not the way I play. I like the way Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt play.
Wow.
They're where they need to be when I need them to be there. There's dependability that I can count on, I can trust. It's like the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. I can count on that happening. And I need that dependability to trust you.
Wow.
And so like hearing that from Kurt and then Carson Palmer and other guys that I play with, like the expectation of like you expect your producers to be here every morning to have this thing ready for you guys to do your job.
Well,
right?
actually, in our case, we don't. It's a matter of whenever he shows up. We're going to take things over one hand. No, just kidding. BT and Sal, Institute of Larry Fitzgerald. You think you're a first ballot Hall of Famer?
That's not in my control.
Come on, stop.
It's not in my control. It really isn't. I'm elated to be mentioned in the category with some of these players. This is, in my opinion, the greatest league in all of professional sports, and to be thought of with some of the greatest to ever do it is really humbling. Like, it is not a day that's gone by since it was announced that I just walk around and I'm just like, man, this is awesome.
I mean, you're on the short list for the best ever. You really are. I mean, that needs to be said. I know you're never going to say it.
You know how subjective these things are.
Well, not for me. It is a little bit with the stat. There's a little subjectivity, but
the stats and where you played.
Yeah, who you played with, what was your quarterback,
and all of the things like that.
Did you win?
Yeah,
I know.
You take all of that into consideration.
Look at this guy.
You 100% are in my fantasy football Hall of Fame. If that means anything to you, first ballot, won me a couple of championships. Although I am a little mad at you taking a shot at the Mets. Now, you played in Arizona. You grew up in Minnesota. What are you, a Twins fan, Diamondbacks?
I'm a Twins and Diamondbacks fan for sure.
Come on.
Did you see the season we had last year?
Yeah, well, that was last year.
We got it done.
Mets had
if we had that roster, you know what we would do in Arizona?
Come on.
In a much better division, too.
I can't come back at him on that. He might be right. With the Dodgers and Padres, they'd still win more than 83 games.
The Yankees own the Twins for 50 years?
We don't want to talk about that.
We do want to talk about that.
No, that was fun.
It's the curse of Chuck Knobloch. Not just that.
So you remember? So you're old enough. You watched Kirby growing up, obviously.
Man, Kirby
How old
was
are you now, by the way?
Kirby. I'm 42. Kirby was a great family friend. My dad's a journalist in the Twin Cities area, and we used to go eat dinner at Kirby's house over in Plymouth. And I saw Ken Herbeck at a Twins game not long ago, and
big first baseman. Ken could hit bombs.
Yeah.
Gary Gaetti over at third base, right?
Yeah. Dan, my brother dated Dan Glavin's daughter. Back in the day, Chili Davis. I whoop him in golf all the time.
Chili,
look at you. Dave Winfield. All the boys, man. I love my Twins. So this is why I knew Kirby Puckett when I was a child. I knew Kirby was great, but I didn't understand what made him great. And for a 7 o'clock game, Kirby would be out there at 11 o'clock in the morning. He would be catching fly balls. In the Metrodome, they had the white roof. So when the ball would go up in the air, if you didn't track it off the bat, you would lose it in the ceiling.
I remember watching games where that happened to the Yankees.
And he would practice it every single day before
at 11 in the morning?
11 in the morning. He would be taking fly balls.
Wow.
And I was like, it's 8 hours until first pitch.
Yep.
And he's here doing this, and this is why he is. And so as a 10, 11-year-old, I'm thinking, if I want to be great, these are the type of things I need to implement for me to be able to do this one day.
I like it.
You were great, one of the greatest, no doubt about it, and I'm sure you'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is the great Larry Fitzgerald. I thought we were going to take a break from the Mets this segment, but of course Larry had to get his jabs in. Of all people, I didn't think I was going to get jabbed by Larry Fitzgerald today about the Mets.
Larry, all you got to do is this. Now, lower your voice a little bit, right? Just lower it nice and low, and just go, Soto. Just do it for us.
Soto.
Oh, Larry! All right, thank you so much, Larry, for your time. We appreciate you stopping by.
I appreciate you having me.
BT and Sal, the Fan, more your Mets calls when we come back. 888-808-1019.
All right, Sal. Hey, our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical, but did you know that those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They built MetLife Stadium and the one before that as well. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperatives, fights for those priorities every day. That is ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
It's Chris McMonagle overnights on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
This game felt a lot like it did a couple years ago, the year they went to the playoffs with Brian Dable's first year. It felt a lot like that, didn't it?
Listen to CMAC on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Penn State nearly had it. Stop me if you've heard that before. Down 17-3, the Nittany Lions stormed back and took a 24-17 lead in overtime. Then Drew Auer threw a pick, and the whole whiteout went quiet. Head coach James Franklin drops to 4-21 against top 10 teams. The offense faded late, the moment slipped, and Penn State let another big one get away in Happy Valley. I'm Maggie Gray.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Mostly sunny and less humid. High 79.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Our recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI will find you the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. And I mean nobody. So if you're looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price, get to Town Fair today. Michelin winter tires offer a shorter stopping distance on ice and snow, along with predictable handling in cold, dry, and wet wintry conditions. For the guaranteed lowest price and free services for life on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Hey, it's Jerry Recco. If you're facing hair loss like I am, I would like to share my journey at Great Many, New York City's cutting-edge hair growth studio. Looking to regrow your hair safely and effectively? Forget those risky pills with scary side effects and costly trips to Turkey. At Great Many, they use PRP, regenerative medicine trusted by pro athletes for recovery. It's a natural, non-surgical solution that really works. Check out my journey and visit greatmany.com/fan to learn more and save $200 today. Don't hesitate. Take action now like I have. Go to greatmany.com/fan to book your treatment or get a free consultation.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. When the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bengals and the Broncos play tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. That's right, you can get in on the action with a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Geo to bet the Jets versus the Dolphins and the Bengals versus the Broncos with a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is also the official partner of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Tune in to the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on the Fan. Presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
I just got a text out of the blue from my ex-girlfriend. She said, just so you know, I'm seeing this new guy. And I wrote back, oh, wow. And then she was like, what, you didn't think I was ever going to date ever again? And I said, no, I just didn't remember signing up for the push notifications.
Sam Morril, the Eras Tour.
I'd like to hear less from you and the Huffington Post, if possible.
December 4th, Stern Auditorium, Perlman Stage at Carnegie Hall. Get tickets now at carnegiehall.org. Don't miss Sam Morril.
Diving for that grounder got you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Layup, take you down? We've got specialists for that. With 45 Castle Connolly top doctors, Orland & Cohen specialists are considered among the best in the nation by their peers, which can mean a better outcome for you. From Staten Island to Southampton, our network is open 7 days a week, so you can feel better, faster. Visit orlandcohen.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Catch all the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims. The home of Yankees radio. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
All right, BT and Sal back on the Fan on what is a disastrous Monday if you are, in fact, a Mets fan. 888-808-1009. And for me, a little even more disastrous. I'm going to have to, when we take our next break here, I'm going to have to go dress like Chase Utley, because I lost that bet to Clem from Surfside. He'll join us at 12:40. He'll poke fun of me. You have to take.
Hey, you pulled me into it.
Well, you're the one who came up with the Utley, so the least you could do is wear that Surfside can here for the next 2 hours.
Baseball pants or just a jersey? You don't have baseball pants, do you?
I do.
That's awesome.
I'll get the socks.
I
gotta pay the bet off.
I was gonna bring the eye black too, and I forgot it. Because he used it during his football game, and it wasn't in the drawer where I thought it would be. I was going to actually bring the eye black for you.
I was thinking, when I made the bet originally, I'm like, well, this is good. Our show's not on TV anyway. Clem's the sucker. I'm taking one for the team. I'm going to get a boatload of Surfsides for everybody, just like we got last time with the Knicks and Sixers. Bring them more all SNY guys, hook up, everybody here. There's so much that you can't take them home. Got to give them away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? I got to dress up in a Phillies uniform. Nobody's even going to watch us. We're not on TV. Now, though, we're on YouTube. And then, of course, digitally, I'm sure they'll be having some fun with that.
Them. Well, listen, I think next year, maybe save the bets for the Reds and the Diamondbacks. Stay away from the Phillies, will you? And even the Braves will probably bounce back. They will.
If Clem and Surfside were born in Cincinnati, I would have taken on the Reds.
Did you see it? Dude, they were ruthless. Did you see some of the Reds tweets from their verified account? I think you were in one of them.
I did, and somebody sent it to me, and I'll be honest, before I opened it, I was like, oh, God, what did I say now?
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Braves,
even me.
The Reds.
It was more Dan Grossa. Yeah, but here's the thing with the Reds, all that was in that particular clip from Baseball Night in New York was that we're saying the Reds weren't really threatening. And they're not. You stink. You're taking bounds. You got embarrassed by a team who wasn't even trying. You got beat yesterday. You had control of your own destiny. They lost. You backed in. You had 83 wins, and now you're going to get squashed by the Dodgers, and you're talking smack? Give me a break.
Oh, God, they have fired off a million tweets here. I can't even find there he is. I guess they use the word threatening, right? And they just very savagely, they just write underneath their verified account, just says very threatening. And then there's a little montage. Sal, who else is in that with
Grossa. He was the one who was saying. All I did was ask him the question.
Yeah, but you're in it. They pulled you into it. They pulled you. You pulled me into the Surfside thing. They pulled you in.
BT and Sal on the Fan. John is in St. Louis. What's up, John?
Hey, what's going on? Good miserable morning, Sal. Real quick, to get that Chase Utley costume, did you just go to Spirit Halloween and ask for a douche?
Oh, man.
Unfortunately, I wish it were that easy. No, it was a little more expensive than that.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys were saying this morning. Brandon, I slightly disagree. I think Nimmo should stay. He had a career year, and I think he's just a good locker room guy for a team that doesn't look like they have a lot of good locker room guys.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest gripe is with Stearns. I mean, if you remember what Boris said, it doesn't even sound like Stearns had any part in that Soto negotiation. Everything went down at Cohen's properties, and Cohen even got the phone call from Boris when they basically said your offer's not even remotely close. Cohen made all that happen. So every single move that Stearns made was a failure. From Frankie Montas, Lord knows he's going to opt in with his club option, to
Siri,
Cedric Mullins, and everybody. I mean, he was a complete failure. And not for nothing, I have one gripe with Cohen. The guy could tweet nonstop when we're 21 games over 500. But the moment that collapse started, that guy was radio silent and has yet to say anything. And also, you made your announcement yesterday that Mendoza was coming back. What the hell are you going to deliver to us today that's going to be worth of note to anything? Are you going to tell us that we stunk? The pitching got hurt? Why wouldn't they save that memo for today? Because now today's a big nothing burger in my eyes unless they backtrack.
Well, no, they're going to fire a bunch of coaches probably, and thanks for the call, John. We'll hear from Stearns. I don't know the exact timeline of it, BT. I would imagine that by the time Stearns speaks, as a matter of fact, probably before we get off the air, I would think you're going to get some of the news on which coaches are being let go, because they're probably discussing this stuff now at the final day of the year, whatever, wrap-up day, whatever they call it. Stearns going to address the media at 3:30, so to me, the business before that should be taken care of, unless maybe they play it out throughout the course of the week and have the initial goodbye meetings today and then maybe play it out over the course of the next few days here. I'm not sure what you want to hear. Like, Steve Cohen did tweet during the year where things were rough, and he said, I expect things to get better. We have higher expectations, whatever his exact quote was. It's not like he's running from it, and he will, again, speak. I just don't know exactly when that's going to be, and I'm not sure if you're going to be satisfied with anything he's going to say, because ultimately it doesn't matter. They're still outside looking in the postseason.
He hasn't tweeted in a while. Let's see here. August 15th, and that has just changed.
Ooh.
We have a tweet that I will read from Steve Cohen 27 seconds ago from the Mets owner. Mets fans everywhere, I owe you an apology. You did your part by showing up and supporting the team. We did not do our part. We will do a post-mortem and figure out the obvious and less obvious reasons why the team didn't perform up to your and my expectations. Cohen continues, we're all feeling raw emotions today. I know how much time and effort you have put into this team. The result was unacceptable. Your emotions tell me how much you care and continues to motivate the organization to do better. Thank you to the best fans in sports. Cohen, 1 minute ago.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I would have liked it a little bit better with the King Cohen music myself. I'm not sure what bed that was that you guys chose right there. That's what you want to hear. I mean, he nailed it. He said it's unacceptable. He's not going to tolerate it. You know that. End of story.
He straight up apologized. I mean, that's even more.
Think about that. That's exactly what you want from an owner. Yep. That's why I deemed him King Cohen. Now, like you said, the crown is heavy, and his team didn't win. So he's the owner of the team. He put it together. He's clearly taking acceptability or accountability and accepting responsibility here. But he's not going to accept it. So whatever that means, he's not going to accept it. They're going to figure out what went wrong, try to fix it next year, and that to me is all you could ask for an owner. I'm not sure what more you'd want.
Yeah, you wanted to hear from him, and I said that. Listen, I said that it's connect to your fans and you communicate to them the pain and the level of tolerance and the anguish. I mean, the way the season ended, even if the Mets were, out in the second round of the playoffs and they won 99 games in the regular season, the owners still need to speak. There's very few teams in this market. We don't hear from the Knicks. We do hear from Cashman. When Cashman speaks, he gives you a pretty expansive view of the Yankees. We don't hear as much from Hal. Sometimes I wish we heard a little bit more from Hal. But Cohen, I think that's the right thing to. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that, but it's good to get it out now. And now you go to work. And to me, I'm getting that wrecking ball. And with all due respect to Nimmo, who I do respect, I would move him and some others. But there's a lot of time to talk about the baseball stuff. It's raw. You heard from the owner. I thought he did a good job with that tweet.
BT and Sal on the Fan. I got to go get dressed. I'll bring the Surfside costume in for you. I'll get the Chase Utley costume. We'll reassess. Down with the King topic of the day, of course, it is the New York Mets, and we'll continue with your calls. 888-808-1019. BT and Sal on the Fan.
Design run. Up the middle he goes to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Giants!
Jaxson Dart's debut and timely defense led the Giants to New York's first victory of the NFL season.
Fires it right, batted line, intercepted by Dexter Lawrence. He's running down the left side to the 15, 10, 5, and he's knocked down at the 1 by Herbert.
Fans are buzzing, but concern looms as we await news on star wideout Malik Neighbors' injury.
I feel terrible for Malik's injury. We'll see where it's at. You know, he's an important piece of our team, but guys that play behind him, just like last year when Slay went in, it's the next man up.
Keep it locked to the Fan for the latest on Big Blue as they gear up to hit the road to New Orleans for their Week 5 matchup with the winless Saints, Sunday at 1 o'clock on your home for New York Giants football. The Fan, 101.9 FM, WFAN, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions. Participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in New Jersey. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
If you work in New Jersey manufacturing, your chance to network, learn, and connect with resources for your business is October 3rd, the annual Made in New Jersey Manufacturing Day in Freehold. Both gubernatorial candidates will share their vision for industry in New Jersey. Register today at njmep.org.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Find excellence in every detail in a new Volvo. At Volvo Cars Ramsey, 8-time winner of the Volvo Excellence Award, you'll find excellent offers. Find our entire inventory at VolvoCarsRamsey.com. Find excellence at Volvo Cars Ramsey.
Hey, this is Tiki Barber. Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system, and there's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas, so get your system checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them now at EdisonHVAC.com. That's EdisonHVAC.com.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons.
If you're injured in an accident, the Rothenberg Law Firm is on your side. A legendary team that has won billions over 5 decades. The Rothenberg Law Firm. 1-800-624-8888 or injurylawyer.com.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable. And one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 or in Mississippi.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Mnexspike, COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna, is now available and easy to find near you. To learn more, visit mnexspike.com. That's MNEXSPIKE.com.
The home of Yankees radio is WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon to 12:03. I'm Andrew Bogish. Your Sports Flash is sponsored by Moderna. The Giants' victory Monday tempered by Malik Neighbors' knee injury. There are now reports confirming a torn ACL. Brian Dable's usual Monday media availability is in 90 minutes. The Jets, meanwhile, part of a Monday night doubleheader. Somebody probably gets their first win of the season tonight in Miami. Tua Tagovailoa among the Dolphins on the hot seat.
We don't want to start 0-4. And so we're doing all we can, to prepare all the guys that are needed to go in there, defensively, offensively. That's kind of what we're trying to hone in on.
This game starts at 7:15. Bengals and Broncos in Denver kick off an hour later. The Yankees just beginning their wild card workout at the stadium. Aaron Boone chats with reporters at 1:30. David Stearns breaks down the Mets collapse at 3:30. In the meantime, we have a tweet from Steve Cohen, quote, "Mets fans everywhere, I owe you an apology. You did your part by showing up and supporting the team. We didn't do our part. We will do a post-mortem and figure out the obvious and less obvious reasons why the team didn't perform up to your and my expectations." Fan Weather is sponsored by Total Orthopedics, the experts at getting you back to being you. Total Orthopedics is Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. From simple sprains and broken bones to complex sports injuries, they are the experts at getting you back to being you. Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Visit TotalOrthoExpress.com today. It is 73 degrees and mostly sunny in Central Park, and that's what's happening. Sports Flashes top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Talk New York sports here.
Down with the king topic of the day, and unfortunately, it is the New York Mets yet again embarrassing themselves, and now I yet again am embarrassing myself as I have to dress in this Phillies Chase Utley uniform the rest of the show here. Because the Mets, in fact, didn't win the division. Not only that, BT, I don't think anybody could have thought that this team would have missed the postseason. We talked about it all year long. I was staying optimistic about it. I didn't even know you were recording me. I guess people got to watch it on the on YouTube to see.
I won't
your mic is off. Yeah,
I won't do you like that. I'll just save it for my own stuff. Somebody else, I'm sure, will put it out there. Great, beautiful uniform.
Yeah.
Is that Von Hayes or is it Chase Utley?
No, it's Chase Utley. You can
Looks
see the
good.
26. Also, you can see that the pants don't match because the pants are authentic.
I noticed it's a different shade of blue.
Yeah, well, the pants, there's nothing I can do about it. Pants are authentic Philly blue.
How'd you get those?
On eBay.
The pants?
Yeah, like the player made,
really?
Like, authentic.
Okay.
And then the jersey is like some kind of replica because I was not going deep into the box. As a matter of fact, I got the tags on because we're trying to return this afterward. Anyway, the
this
Mets,
is where it's at.
They did it again. The Mets did it again. I'm the fool for believing that this team would win the division. And by the way, I never thought that the Mets would go to the World Series. I mean, those are always the expectations or the hope, but there was never real reason to really believe that, even if the team was playing like the best team in baseball in June. It wasn't a great offseason as far as, it was great that they got Soto, but you didn't look at this team going in saying that they were going to be a World Series team. You didn't even look at them really saying that they were going to be better than the Phillies or the Braves. In season, maybe things change a little bit, but to not miss the playoffs, to end the year with 83 wins and lose on a tiebreaker to the Cincinnati Reds, to me, is the most embarrassing season that the Mets have ever had.
It is up there, that is for sure. I thought that the Mets would be the third best team in this division. I thought it would be the Braves 1, Phillies 2, Mets 3rd. I thought there would be a much bigger gap between the Marlins and the Nationals, and there was a big gap with the Nats, but the Marlins were more competitive than I thought. I thought that you would have, I thought it was the best division in baseball, honestly, going in. That's why I thought the winner would be under 100 wins because they kind of eat each other a little bit. So I kind of figured, all right, Braves maybe 95, 96, maybe Phillies a game or two behind that. I thought the Mets would be around 90. I thought the over-under, and I wound up picking slightly under, so maybe I even thought it was high 80s. But it really doesn't matter what I thought. It's reacting to what they present. And when you get evidence to the contrary, even though I didn't think the Mets would be amazing, even with Soto going in, when they look like the team that they did for the first couple of months, you got to reassess. And I did. I'm like, wow, this team looks really good, and I'm buying into the pitching lab. Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't we? Because the year before it worked out. And the Mets were cranking out a ton of wins without Soto doing anything. The clutch value was not there by anybody to start the season. And I really thought that those things would change. They didn't. And not only did they not change for the better, as the hitting never really tapped into the clutchness, the defense got worse.
Yeah.
Then the lead started getting blown. Then the manager had a rough couple of months. Just a full-on season to forget nightmare all time for the Mets.
Yeah, and now, and the question everybody has been asking all year long, like, what the hell's going on? Why is this happening? Obviously, you could point to the starting pitching and say, well, this hasn't been good enough. Yeah, we all know that. But I love Steve Cohen's tweet, and Bogish gave it. We gave it before we took a break there before. But the fact that he's going to have to figure out why the team didn't perform well, whether it's the obvious reasons, the less obvious stuff, and he's not going to have, it's unacceptable. Basically, Cohen, no, not basically, he said, quote, the result was unacceptable, and he knows that the Met fans are not happy, and I think he's going to do whatever he can to change that. He's already done that, but now it didn't work, and I feel like he's going to do whatever it takes to figure it out. You mentioned the term, you take a wrecking ball to it. I think there are many different ways to do it. Obviously, they're going to have to upgrade the pitching. To me, the bulk of this blame is on David Stearns this year. He's got to figure out a way to put more of his imprint on the team, whether that's athleticism, better defense. Like, there are many different reasons why we are here, but ultimately, Met fans in the all too familiar position of being on the outside looking in yet in another postseason. BT and Sal on the Fan, our friends at Town Fair Tire, remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires. From Connecticut to Maine, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Jeff is in Oceanside. I'm sure he's happy today. Jeff?
I'm very happy. Not. I would not only fire Mendy and every single coach. It's ridiculous. I would not only fire them, I would ban them from Citi Field for life. What was that game plan yesterday? I've never seen anything like that in my life. They're gutless. They're spineless. The Reds lost. They couldn't beat it. I know the Marlins are up and coming maybe, but they're the Mets, second highest payroll in baseball. Win a game. They knew the Reds lost, and they still couldn't win a game. 0-70. 0-70 in the ninth inning when losing. How is that even mathematically possible?
Yeah, I mean, look.
How does Mendy come back?
Well,
how do you bring Mendy back? You cannot bring Mendy back.
Here's the but Jeff, he was great last
or
year.
Hefner.
Yeah, Hefner might not be back.
No, Hefner, no. Well, I've told this before. I've told you guys before. Hefner is a joke.
He might be fired.
Let me finish. In 2022, they had their best three pitchers going in Atlanta. They lost all three games. All three games.
You need to remind me of that?
Was a disaster.
I'm well aware. I mean, believe me, I'm well aware.
So what has Hefner done? What has Hefner done?
Jeff, but you give it a couple hours and we'll see. And thank you for the call. And we appreciate your passion and fire as always. Here's the thing. No matter what, and I was thinking of this as Jeff was going on there and reading the Steve Cohen tweet again, no matter what, like Mendy's coming back, right? That was reported yesterday.
Yeah, he's coming back.
No matter what, it sets up for an even more pressurized, potentially dangerous situation next year.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Like, it's very hard to succeed to begin with in New York, even harder to succeed with the Mets in New York. And now, like Cohen just told you, while Met fans love that tweet and while I love it myself, and it should be what the owner should be saying, that is not going to make it a comfortable working environment for the guys that do remain next year, specifically the manager.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of I think there was some blind faith going into this year and certainly fueled by hope, but also last year was a riveting run. So there was at least evidence that this was going in the right direction. Now, could it be stabilized? Could it be fixed in one off season? I do. I don't think the Mets are going to just, fall apart and become a 73-win team and resemble like the Mets from the late 70s. I don't see that happening. But I think, to your point about how it's a dangerous template retaining Mendoza in this regard next year, Now I think a lot of that optimism and that over-the-top belief like, hey, we're going to take over and we're going to do this and that, that's gone. That's gone after 1 year. And now it's the reality of, we still haven't won in 40 years. There's anger. There's a lack of trust. There's a diminished hope. And I think if the Mets don't get off to a good start next year, it is going to be ugly because the faith has eroded, and rightfully so.
He'll be fired in season. But think about it this way. If Steve Cohen today said, you know what, forget what I told Martino yesterday, whatever, however the report got out yesterday about the Mendy being back, if he said today, I'm going to fire Carlos Mendoza, what do you think that sets up this job to be moving forward? Mendy had a great they hired Mendy because Stearns wanted his guy. He brought in this guy. They got rid of Buck Showalter after a couple of years, even after a successful first season with Buck. And I thought they had to move on from him, whatever, especially being a new guy. Like, you kind of expected it with Stearns. Now you take a manager when his first year had a NLCS appearance out of nowhere, and you're going to fire him after one bad year. Like, what manager is going to want to come in here and trust the patience of an owner to give them time to fix something that needs to be fixed over time, not just in a year like that?
And if you did do that, and they're not, but if he changed his mind, that it's certainly his ability to do that, but he won't, I don't think. But if you did do that, aside from the job not being appealing because now there's like a level of volatility, like, wow, you got rid of him that quick after a good year, I don't even think from a roster perspective the job's incredibly appealing right now because who the hell's pitching next year?
Right.
Outside of McClain.
Understood, but that is a different argument. It's just like the owner. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying it's different from the owner setting a precedent to where if you don't succeed every single year, starting with year one.
Yeah. It's two different things. I grant you that, but it's now instead of one issue, it's two.
Brad is in Mineola. What's up, Brad?
What's up, gentlemen? I wouldn't even say happy Monday. But what I will say is this, and it's interesting. I'm kind of finding it as a different perspective in regards to it after reading the tweet. My thought is that the Mets are going to go absolute scorched earth and put 9 guys in a lineup like the Yankees did in 2009. Mind you, what I remembered is that George was dying, and that was probably his dying wish to get one more World Series. And I never thought about that until I was thinking about what Steve Cohen's probably going to do this season. No one's dying on the Mets side, but I feel like it feels like that in a way. And the Mets are going to do everything in their power to get the best bats in that lineup and the best arms in that bullpen and the best arms to pitch. I just think they're going to go full scorched earth. And I'm happy as a Mets fan in that respect.
Well, here's the problem, and thank you for the call, Brad. Spending money is not the issue. They've already done that to the highest level in the sport. So it's not like they could go from, they were middle of the pack, and now he's going to go spend more. How much more do you want him to spend? While also seeing other examples of teams who have spent far less than the Mets have that continue to win ball games. So I don't think this is as simple as fix as it was for the Yankees in 2009 after they failed to make the postseason in 2008 and just go out there and go get Teixeira and A.J. Burnett and CC Sabathia. To me, the Mets are not that. They're not those pieces away from turning this around. We're not talking about trying to win a World Series. We're talking about trying to make the playoffs here in consecutive years. And they have enough on the team to make the postseason in consecutive years, and they didn't. So what's the root issue there? I don't think the answer is spending more money on top of what they already spent.
Well, I think you can go out there and you can get some new players, and if you're willing to eat some of Nimmo's contract, if you're willing to eat some of McNeil's contracts, you just got to get rid of these. You got to get rid of some of these dudes. What are we going to do this by the? Lindor's going to be 37. We're going to be sitting here saying, I don't know, is the core good enough? And I'm not blaming this all on Lindor. He did a lot of good things this year, but he was sloppy defensively, and his prime is ticking. He's not going to be a great player for another 5 or 6 years. He got probably 2 really good years where he's at his absolute physical apex, his quickness, his burst, and all those things. Pete might be gone. Soto's young. He's going to be here forever, but the Nimmo stuff, the McNeil stuff, I just reboot, man. It's not good enough.
Tom is calling from West Babylon. What's up, Tom?
First, I want to say, BT, I want to wish you the best of luck. Only to you, because I respect you as a Yankee fan. I'm a Mets fan.
Appreciate that,
I will
buddy.
never bash your team.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Sal and BT, you're welcome to join in. Bottom line with the Mets, I mean, horrendous on errors in the infield. Their pitching staff held us for 2 months, but taxed the bullpen. Now the injury started. It all comes down to David Stern. I don't want to see anybody lose their job because it's not right. David Stern took a gamble and said, you know what? I'm going to get this guy cheap, because we have kids coming up in the minor leagues. But we have a win team now, and that's where it backfired on him. So all these guys went down. Singer, Minaya, Cannon, and then the bullpen was just overtaxed. Now you're putting all the pieces. You want to blame all the players. All right, yeah, they do make errors. That's another thing. Lindor's 31. McNeil's 31. Nimmo's 31. They're getting older. Now, do you want to really put all your money into Alonso at 31? He's homegrown. Steinbrenner would never, ever let him walk. And if Cohen doesn't do something, I could bet you guys right now, and I will call you, he will be a Yankee.
Okay, I don't really want him on the Yankees. I said the same thing. Now, his year this year would give me a little more pause. I'd much rather watch Pete play than Goldschmidt hit. But I don't even really want to engage in the Alonso Yankee stuff today. That's certainly not my angle. But he brought it up, so I just respond to it.
He doesn't make sense for the Yankees.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. I'll tell you what. I will engage in this. If I am the Mets, and this sucks for me, there is one target that I am chasing with absolute vigor, and I'm going after Bellinger. Now, I don't think Bellinger's going to want to leave the Yankees. His dad played here. He loves it here. I also thought maybe Soto liked it there as well, and he left. So I guess you don't assume anything. And it's one cavalier contract or reckless contract that maybe he could say, hey, I'm getting 25% more for the Mets. I'm going to bounce. I do think Bellinger's staying with the Yankees. He's a perfect fit. But if you want to become a better baseball team, not a guy in left who can't throw, who's got a rag arm, not a guy at first who can't flip it to the pitcher covering the base and is a goof defensively. You want a stud baseball player who can hit with 2 strikes, who can run, who could play left, who could play center, who could play first. Even more so than Tucker, I don't think that there's anybody out there on the possible open market that can make the Mets better than Bellinger. Yeah, I honestly believe that.
Fair enough. To me, he's not leaving the Yankees, so I wouldn't even entertain the idea. Also, the Mets can't go out there and spend another big contract on Bellinger, whatever that is. Not to mention that he's been an inconsistent player.
If Pete goes, though, think about this. If Pete's gone, that's money that Pete would get, that you would have earmarked for Pete, that Bellinger takes.
I personally wouldn't do it. First of all, I don't think he's leaving the Yankees. Second of all, I wouldn't do it. He's been too inconsistent for me. I think he is a perfect Yankee. I'm not saying I wouldn't want his skill set on the Mets. That I agree with. I just don't think that it's the right fit. I could see Bellinger coming to the Mets and not being what he's been with the Yankees. I think he's a guy that's benefiting clearly from being in the Yankees lineup, from being a Yankee. I think he loves being a Yankee. The opposite of Soto, who to me, where you could put Soto anywhere and he would have success. That's not Bellinger. But there are ways to fix the team. It's not just one move away. You put Bellinger on this team, okay, great. They're a little bit better. They're not... To me, they're still on a playoff team. If I'm going to invest big money this year, it's going to be in pitching.
Okay, so, and that Les Kohler brought up the pitching as well, and he used the term transition. I'm going to be fair in this regard to Stearns, who I gave an F for this season. Every move he made was an absolute, abject, unmitigated disaster. F. However, when you look at the upper level of the talent of the Mets outside of Soto, who's young, it's a delicate balance because the pitching wasn't quite ready. Tong clearly wasn't ready. McClain is. Sproat's in between, more ready than not. And then all the injuries. The Mets are, it's not like they got a bunch of kids and you just bring in a Keith Hernandez or Carter and it accents the entire roster. It's very all over the map. Marte's old and his contract's up and Nimmo's not a kid and all the things we talked about a million times. But yet Soto's in his absolute prime, but yet the pitching's not really great. So while we can crush Stearns for failing much more than he succeeded this year, I do at least recognize that it was a little bit of a delicate balance of, okay, are we truly ready to win it all, meaning we should go out and get 2 pitchers, or are we not there yet? Now, this is the offseason. They've got to, I think, reposition and readjust a lot. But to be fair to Stearns, tough balance.
BT Sal on the Fan. Guys, by now you've heard me talk about Collars & Co., makers of the dress collar polo. They've already sold over 1 million of these amazing shirts. Well, Collars & Co. just came out with a new Maverick Performance Blazer. This blazer is sharp and wrinkle resistant, so you can travel anywhere with it. Just throw it in your bag and it will remain wrinkle-free. It even comes with security zip pockets, a sunglasses loop, and an optional pocket square. So visit collarsandco.com and check them out today.
Ball game over. Yankees sweep Boston. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
The age-old rivalry heats back up just in time for fall.
Hey, you ready? Garrett Crochet, Max Fried. How does it sound?
I can't wait. The Bombers start their journey toward glory and a record 28th World Championship.
His second two-run shot. Boy, he loves that right field corner, doesn't he?
The electricity in the Bronx will be delivered to you like no one else can deliver.
Goodbye! Two-run homer!
Right here on your exclusive home for New York Yankees baseball. 101.9 FM, WFAN. And always live on the free Odyssey app.
For over 100 years, Sloman's has been your trusted partner in comfort. When it comes to home heating oil, they deliver more than just quality fuel. They deliver peace of mind. With price protection, automatic deliveries, and 24/7 service, their dedicated team is just a call away, ensuring you stay warm and comfortable all winter long. Sloman's, the Tri-State's largest heating oil provider, proudly serving their community for generations. Give them a call today at 866-GET-HEAT. Or visit oil.slomans.com.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Lowe's knows that free makes everything better. That's why Rewards members get free standard shipping starting at Silver Key or Gold Pro status. Not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/shipping. Terms subject to change.
At Bellavia Chevrolet, we know a strong season starts with the right lineup. Just minutes from MetLife Stadium, we've got East Rutherford's top GM vehicles like Silverado, Tahoe, Trailblazer, and so many more. Family owned, trusted for decades, Bellavia Chevrolet is built for whatever the road or Sunday throws your way. Whether you're hauling gear, heading to the game, or just need something that moves like a winner, Bellavia Chevrolet in East Rutherford has you covered. Bellavia Chevrolet, big trucks, big SUVs in East Rutherford or BelaviaChevy.com.
Are you searching for a warm and welcoming community for mom or dad? River Spring Living just may be the right option. Set on a 32-acre campus right there along the beautiful Hudson River, there are plenty of chances to engage in activities, wellness programs, and so much more. From independent living to assisted living and memory care, specialized teams are dedicated to making everyone feel right at home. I've seen firsthand what makes life at River Spring Living so special. Visit riverspringliving.org today.
Talk New York sports on the Fan.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Tune in to the BT and Sal Show weekdays from 10 to 2 on The Fan, presented by your tri-state Cadillac dealers. Cadillac is the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets.
Clogged toilet, leaky faucet on one. Ready?
Uh-oh, you got a plumbing problem blitzing through the line. Time to audible and call in the pros. Roto-Rooter is your go-to defense for clogs, leaks, and any plumbing fix. Call the right play and download the Roto-Rooter app and easily book an appointment and receive exclusive service discounts. Touchdown! Don't get sacked by plumbing issues. Call in Roto-Rooter, your MVP for plumbing solutions. Download the app today and score big on savings.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
When it comes down to finding the lowest price on Michelin winter tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire's guaranteed lowest price. And when it comes to free services, nobody gives you more free services on your Michelin winter tires than Town Fair Tire. So why look for Michelin winter tires anywhere but Town Fair Tire, where you always get the guaranteed best deals. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions. Participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT is now back on the Fan, and maybe, in fact, in a couple hours, the Mets will be cleaning out some of their closets. Well, we know the actual Mets will be cleaning out their closets, but I mean permanently, the permanent kind, with some of the coaching staff, and we'll see what changes need to be made. I mean, we talked about it with Pete Alonso. I'm sure he'll be the biggest talking point in the offseason, at least initially, BT. He's going to elect to opt out, and we'll see what happens. I would bring Pete back, but I would tell him that you're going to be the bulk DH. There's no way anybody can tell me, Evan, whoever, he's not a good first baseman. End of story. So I don't want to hear it. I've said this for a while, for years. I don't want to hear anybody try to tell me otherwise. Well, he's great at scooping. Yeah, okay, that's nice. That's a part of being a good defensive first baseman. He is a butcher with his glove for the most part and an absolute embarrassment with his arm. With that being said, good luck finding somebody that plays every day like he does, that continues to produce to the high level of the power numbers that he does in New York.
Yep.
Like those are givens that you're going to have to answer elsewhere. So I would bring Pete back, but tell him, here, what do you want? You want 4 years, 150, whatever like the number is that's in accordance to what the market says. Same thing as this year.
Mm-hmm.
Market might be increased, so be it. I'd be willing to do it, but I would say that of your 150-something games, you're going to play half of them at first and half of them as DH. And when push comes to shove, crunch time, you're going to be as the DH. That's what I would do with Pete.
There was a point where, I always just thought he was a butcher at first base. And then there was a point I'm like, all right, he's actually put some time in and he's made himself functional where if the ball's at him, he's going to make the play. Ball's in the dirt, he's going to scoop it. He's awful at first base. I'm with you. I don't care what anybody says. He is a liability. You can't throw it free. You can't spin the 3-6-3 double play. When the infield's up and there's a play at the plate, you got to hope that it finds the catcher's mitt, not the backstop, not the dirt. His arm is a big issue. However, I really do think now, unlike last year, now Vlad's younger, as we know, and that's going to matter. Vlad's only 26 or 27, where Pete's going to be 31 next year. But Vlad got $500 million. Now, Vlad Guerrero this year, all right, he had 23 home runs and 84 RBIs.
Right.
Now, he's a better first baseman. Who knows? Not much. Who knows how his body's going to evolve as he gets older and slower and probably thicker. He didn't hit 300, and his OPS was under 850.
Yeah,
so
you talk about a bad contract. That is
horrible. I'm with you.
We would have never done it. I wanted Vlad nowhere near. I didn't think he was getting that price.
Neither did I. I think that it's going to be more like a more fertile free agent ground, if you will, this offseason, because there's now at least a comp with Vlad Guerrero, and Pete has at least for the moment put together the whispers that he morphed into a 220 hitter, which was my greatest concern. Right. Like when he was hitting 260, 270 early, I'm like, geez, if you're hitting 260 and you're banging 40-something home runs, even if you're okay at first base, you're a star. But when you hit 212 and 220 and there's a lot of strikeouts and the RBIs were in the 80s like they were a year ago, I'm like, that's a worrisome step back as you get older and as a right-handed fielding first baseman. I think that he re-energized his free agent pursuit. And I think he's going to get more than he was offered a year ago. I just think he is. And I listen, I think he's going to be on a different team. I do.
If you were, look at it this way, and this is the way I'm choosing to look at it from a Mets perspective. I have no idea what they're going to do. But for me, if I'm investing money into either Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso, which of those three would you rather invest money in now and in the relatively near future?
It's easy. It's good. For me, it's easy. I would say Pete.
Me too.
Because the reason, now Nimmo's easy, obviously. It would be Pete, then Lindor, then Nimmo in that order. Right. And the reason I would say Pete over Lindor is because even though he's going to age a little bit, first base, you can live with that. Plus, there's a DH spot. Whereas with, I'm not saying Lindor couldn't play second base and be very good. But, he had a rough defensive year, and he's only going to get younger and, probably a little bit slower in the middle of the diamond.
Yeah. Also inconsistent. Like, the numbers may be consistent.
I know.
He's an inconsistent performer.
Yes, he is.
And he's getting paid a lot of money. And, by the way, there might be value there. Remember, it's not the 10-year deal that it once was. I think it's 6 years. I forget. Is it just under $200 million for Lindor? Because I was thinking about this the last couple of weeks. This is bigger than just saying this at 12:30 in the middle of the show, but this is what I would do. I would trade Francisco Lindor because I think that's going to be a bigger return. I've already told you during the year I would have traded Nimmo, and I still would be up for that. If you could trade Nimmo and Lindor, I would do that, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. If you could get one, rid yourself of one. Now, while saying that, I know Lindor could be a productive player, and I know a lot of Met fans love him. That's great. That's part of the appeal of trading him is that you could get something back from him or at least get rid of that contract and then invest that money elsewhere. So I would, of those three, Nimmo, Lindor, Pete, I would trust Pete's power to produce more consistently than any of the other elements of the other players. And I would have that as a DH, split first baseman, split DH. Now you're set there with him and Soto as the tandem. Mm-hmm. The other two guys I think should be open for discussion to move on from both Nimmo and Lindor. Nimmo's the easy one. Just say, well, I want to move on from Nimmo. That's great. Where's the value on the open market? Even coming off a career year, he can't run. He's horrible defensively. He's inconsistent as well.
Yep.
So to me, the biggest return potentially or biggest trading block of those three would be Lindor. And that changes the entire dynamics of the team. And maybe a team like Toronto is going to lose Bichette here in free agency. Maybe they go bite, and instead of trying to get a free agent to go there, they take on that contract of Lindor. You have what the numbers are?
Yeah, I got you. So it's 34, 34, 34, 34, 34, 34.
All right, well, how many years was that?
Through 2031.
Say that again? 6 years times 34?
6 years left.
Right.
He's going to be 37.
Yeah, so $200 million. Okay. So 6 years, $200 million. Like, that's not the. And by the way, the Mets could pay some of that down. Now the question is going to be, okay, well, would they value keeping Lindor here and riding this out and trying to figure it out around it and not changing the core? Like, for me, they need. It's not about the talent. We've seen what this talent can do, and we've seen all four of their core guys have career years to the point where I don't know how anybody in their right mind would bet that this exact situation is going to happen again next year. Not that Soto couldn't have that year, or Lindor or Nimmo couldn't have that year, or Alonso, but all together, all four, for the most part, staying healthy and producing at a high clip. Yeah. And it didn't work. Yeah. So that goes to show, like, it didn't work. Mm-hmm. That's definitive. It did not work.
I don't like the core. I don't. You said this 2 years ago. You're right.
Well, remember, the core then was different because it was
without Soto.
Correct.
No, I got it.
So now he's the focal point of it. And by the way, there may come a day where he proves to be the problem. Like, statistically, he's not the problem.
Yeah.
But there are other issues that it brings, whether it's the amount of money that he costs, whether it's his sloppy defense, maybe his attitude, whatever. Like, I'm not knocking Soto, but he's not going anywhere, at least for the time being.
Yeah.
He's untradeable. He's not going anywhere. Nor would you want to do that, nor would I. They still needed Soto. To me, it's the right move. He's your star. Now, how are you best going to build a team around him? And I would look to do it with something that we always talk about, baseball players. Guys who can catch.
That's why I gave you Bellinger.
I get it, but he's going to be a pricey one.
Yeah.
That's also been inconsistent offensively. I'm not saying I wouldn't take him.
Yep.
First of all, I don't think he's leaving the Yankees, and if they do let him go, they're fools. Like, he's the perfect Yankee.
Central casting.
But I want guys who can field and run. That's what I want to build around. You don't need all guys who can mesh. So my two stars would be Soto, Alonso, and then build a team of ball players around them.
Now, here's the other thing, too. Like, when Usually when you want to have those, or when you do have those 3, 4, 5 exorbitant contracts, you want younger players to fill in the boxes, right? Do we really know, what Vientos is? We don't.
Yeah.
I like Beatty. I think Beatty's going to be a 25 home run, 80-something RBI, 250, 260 kind of hitter with a good arm who picks it at third. I think Brett Beatty's your third baseman moving forward. I like the kid a lot. I used to love him. Then I kind of gave up on him, to be fair. He could play. But do you really know anything about Acuna? Do you really know anything about Mauricio? He's still waving at curveballs, missing them by feet, by like multiple feet. So it's just and I don't know about Gilbert or some of the kids on the farm. Who the heck knows?
Jet Williams, Carson Banks. Those are going to be the two guys that could potentially be.
I don't know. But listen, when you have this kind of a situation, it almost feels in a way like the Randall Knicks situation. And you and I actually differed on that because I wanted to move on. You wanted to keep him. I thought that, and I love Randall, but I just thought that the ceiling was a little bit obvious with him. I just feel like the Mets ceiling is kind of this with this nucleus. And it's not to say that they're not good players, but here's the bottom line. They don't work together the way they need to work together. Not that they don't like each other, not that they don't talk to each other. They don't complement each other as players and as teammates the way they need to. And if it's my team, I'm blowing it up.
Correct. It didn't work.
No. Again, it didn't work.
BT and Sal on the Fan. We come back. We'll get more of your calls. Also, Clem from Surfside. Clem Pappas will join us and gloat about his Phillies while I'm sitting here in this ridiculous Chase Utley outfit. BT's got his Surfside can on. I'd love to switch, but that wasn't the bet. Approved Oil has been the leading heating oil dealer in New York for over 92 years, and right now, rates are low. So it's time to lock in for this upcoming winter before the cold weather drives prices up. Call today to lock in your low rate. While there's no guarantee your team will win every Sunday, it's a lock that Approved Oil will have you feeling worry-free this winter. Approved Oil has been delivering a brighter and warmer tomorrow for almost a century. If you want a lower heating bill, it has to be Approved Oil. Visit freeztherate.com.
It's Boomer and Gio, mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
They embarrassed their fan base. Everybody was there for them. Everybody bought into this team from the second that the Juan Soto signing was happening. The Met fan was there.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Maggie Gray with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Rory McIlroy faced a barrage of abuse at the Ryder Cup at Bethpage. He was booed on tee boxes, heckled mid-swing, and hit with everything from F-bombs to slurs to graphic gestures. Security barely stepped in. The Ryder Cup crowd didn't just get rowdy, it got ugly. Sports brings out the passion in fans, but this clearly crossed the line. I'm Maggie Gray.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works.
Call 800-210-4298. 800-210-4298. 800-210-4298.
Consolidated Credit Solutions Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Kansas CSO 0019051. Maryland DM 1492. Oregon DM 892. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation Commission, license number DCA3. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action. Actual interest rates, length of program, and monthly payment reductions will vary by consumer and creditor. Yours could be higher or lower. Not a loan company. We do not lend money.
You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday this season, all the way through the AFC Championship game. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old
old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Stepping into the Kia K4 or K5 isn't just getting behind the wheel of any average sedan. It's stepping into what's next. With a K4, it's stepping into a world that's exciting. With a K5, it's one that's bold. The Kia K4 and K5, the next movement for sedans. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
The FanDuel Sportsbook app is your home for all your favorite NFL bets, from yards to touchdowns to who will win. With FanDuel, any play can be the play of the game. When the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bengals and the Broncos play tonight, FanDuel is giving all customers a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. That's right. You can get in on the action with a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. So make FanDuel your go-to app for any snap. Just visit FanDuel.com/Geo to bet the Jets versus the Dolphins and the Bengals versus the Broncos with a 50% profit boost token or 2 30% profit boost tokens. Play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook is also the official partner of WFAN. 21 and over and physically present in New York. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Town Fair Tire honors any valid rebates, manufacturers or competitors' rebates. Yes, even any competitors' rebates. And we give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire. Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Bill monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
There are a lot of reasons why people buy at Ramsey Mazda. It's their selection, it's their customer service, and it's their savings. Get 1.9% financing on a new 2025 Mazda CX-50 or lease for $249 for 33 months. Start shopping now at RamseyMazda.com. Choose wisely. Choose Ramsey Mazda.
Call 833-853-2970 for lease details. VIN SN354688. MSRP $32,945. Zero security deposit. APR $1748 per 1,000 finance. It's $930.25.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-351-4596. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
BT Sal back on the Fan. Unfortunately, Unlike the Mets, we have to hold up our end of the bargain, BT, and we made a bet. Well, I made a bet, and then you jumped in, so you got hooked into this thing.
I got pulled in.
With Clem from Surfside, of course, CEO of Surfside, runs everything over there, big Phillies fan. That's where Surfside was born. We won the Knicks-Sixers bet with him a couple years ago in the postseason. So I ran my mouth and said I think the Mets are going to win the division. Of course, the Phillies ended up winning the division, and instead of a fresh pallet of Surfsides being delivered to the station to get everybody, properly liquored up, I'm wearing a Chase Utley uniform, and you are wearing a Surfside can. And to gloat about it, we welcome in Clem from Surfside. Hi, Clem. Clem, how are you?
Doing great, Sal. How are you? One of the best days in recent memory.
Are you happy that the Mets are out because you were afraid of playing them in the next round potentially?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to shed any tears. We did not fare well, at your stadium, so I'm glad we don't have to deal with that. But man, I think the last time we talked, it was like 3 games difference. It's like 13. What happened to your boys?
Well, let's get your opinion. What happened, Clem? What happened to those Mets?
I don't really, they're sort of irrelevant, to my sports habits. So I couldn't tell you what injuries. What do they have? What's the excuse?
I forget when we I know it was over the summer, at the end of the summer, but it might have been right after the Mets swept the Phillies at Citi, which got them back into the conversation. And then shortly thereafter, the Phillies swept the Mets. So I just fell apart. I mean, they didn't have enough. I'm disappointed. I can't believe the distance that the Phillies put between themselves and the Mets to win the division. And not only that, I mean, the Mets, we didn't even make a bet on the Mets making the playoffs, Clem. This is all about the division. That's a foregone conclusion now.
I could be really on house money right now. Yeah, 100%.
Double
so what are you thinking? Rebuild? Is this going to be a total rebuild, or you think they got enough pieces to build around?
No,
this has got to be a big topic for you.
You got to tear
right
it down. You got to tear down some important pieces. It's going to be some tough sentimental decisions that if they're serious about business, they will make.
Have you seen, Clem, have you seen my Utley uniform and BT in the Surfside can costume? Have you got a look at that?
Listen, I was going to ask you because Pete sent me this picture, and I'm like, man, it looked like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Sal. Did you shrink like 2 feet? It was wild.
No, I'm not very tall to begin with, and then I got the socks on, for, the high socks.
That outfit's not doing you any favors, man. I don't know if I'd spread that around.
Wait, it's going to be out everywhere, Clem. What are you kidding me? He's even got the belt on, too. He's got the belt. I wanted to bring him eye black.
I had to pay off the debt. I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm a man of my word. You paid up last year with the pallet, and this year I got to wear this silly uniform. I don't know how many bets I'm going to be willing to make with you this year. Maybe a little Knicks Sixers.
I'll make a Nick bet. I'm going to come up with some terms here. I'll get Clem back for everybody.
Yeah, and no Eagles. No.
Yeah, we got to. Listen, I told you I gave up my Sixer tickets. A, I'm too busy and everything. But B, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Embiid is even going to play. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if Paul George is going to play. We've got, I don't know what, between those two guys, over $100 million in salary cap. And who knows?
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe the Giants could get the better of the Eagles in at least one of these two matchups, but then we look forward to the Knicks Sixers. All right, so you saw the pictures. BT in the Surfside costume. I'm in the Utley costume. We're debt paid. We're all even.
We're all even, and I'll tell you what, I'm a good sport. I'm gonna make sure I get you guys some Surfside. I'm not backing up a whole pallet, but I got to make sure you guys aren't totally dry over there either.
Right for the fire pit, man.
Can't allow that.
Nice.
You are the man, Clem. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Pleasure. Paying this bet, this debt to you. We appreciate whatever you do for us as always. Good luck to you. I hesitate to say this, but I'll be respectful. Good luck to your Phillies the rest of the way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Take care.
Man, we'll see you, Clem. Good job.
From Surfside, having some fun with us. Yeah. Hey, look.
You know what? I knew he'd hook it up, even if he won.
If we didn't wear this, though, we weren't getting any Surfside.
Well, that's why I jumped in. I knew, I knew he was going to drop some stuff off. Yeah. You knew it was coming.
I'm going to need it
for you.
Going to need it. Not enough Surfside to go down to get over this Met season. What, are you kidding me? Look at me. I look like an idiot. He's right. I got the pants up high. The belt doesn't fit right because I'm about 25 pounds overweight. I'm in a Chase Utley powder blue Phillies uni. Like, this is the last thing I want to be doing today. And I also made that bet not thinking that they wouldn't make the playoffs.
I know.
Like, this is a division.
Well, that's why I said, and the plan was always to do it the day after the season. If you're sitting here today and the Mets are getting ready to play the Dodgers, even though you have to pay off the bet, it's a little more palatable here because your Mets are still playing playoff games. This is, I got to be honest with you, this is the ultimate indignity. It doesn't get much lower than this. Now I'm sitting here looking like a buffoon myself, but at least I got a game tomorrow night. Oh, man.
I just got off the phone with Sammy, and he said that we said good luck.
Sammy? Not Sammy. Clem. What are you talking about? I'm thinking of Sammy. I'm texting whatever. Clem. I just got the phone with Clem, and we were, good luck with the playoffs and whatnot. Maybe we'll do this again soon. And I go, I think it's going to be a Yankees-Phillies World Series. He goes, that sounds like a good bet coming up. Now that's a different story. Finally, for once, I'd be able to have the backing of a real team like the Yankees, as opposed to getting in bed with the Mets, who continue to let me down.
Interesting. Yeah, I got to see though. Remember, you have a relation, like you do business with Sir. I'm just on I just drink their products.
Maybe I won't return this.
You want to start paying me, Clem? I'll come up with all the bets you want.
Maybe I won't return this. You could have it for the.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Hey, we'll do it again. 2009, Clem. We'll get after it.
We're on the same page.
Phillies, Burnett, Pedro. I was there 4-1. I'll bet you again, Clem.
BT Sal, the Fed. Hector is in Washington Heights. Hector?
The torture continues. Just my luck, I got to follow that nonsense. It's not enough that I've been on this stupid roller coaster with this team all year, right? I got to call someone who I call a friend, who I care about, who I love, and he's sitting there in a damn Phillies uniform. I tell you, man, it's unbelievable. But anyways, what are we going to do? That's life. How you guys doing?
Yeah, great. This is what I get. This is what I get for believing in the Mets. I mean, my God, was there? I mean, think about it though. If somebody would have made a bet saying that the Mets are going to make the playoffs, you would have bet anything on that going in this year. Playoffs? Come on, what are you kidding me?
Did you make the bet going into the year, or did you make the bet throughout the season?
No,
you should have known better.
In season.
Yeah. Well, maybe you shouldn't have made that bet. But anyways. Let's try and talk about this briefly, if I may. And BT, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man.
Listen, I'm going to reach out through Sal. I need BT on BT this off season. If you don't know, you'll find out.
Is this the blunt thing?
Thoughts, yeah.
Blunt thoughts?
Yes. I need to talk baseball.
I'll jump on with you, man. You know I got you. I'll take care of you.
We'll talk. I appreciate that. But guys, listen, man. This is so disheartening. Like I said, a lot of times you go on a roller coaster, right? And there's times you get off the roller coaster and you run back to the line because you can't wait to get back on that roller coaster. Well, not this roller coaster. This is a roller coaster you get off and you're nauseous. You just throw up everything you've had for a week, and you don't want to see that roller coaster ever again. And the frustrating part is, as a Mets fan, right, for my life, there's players on this team that you love. And at the same time, like you said, BT, this season, I grew to despise this team, right? And you recognize there has to be change. But what change can happen that'll really excite someone like me going into 2026? I don't see it. Eventually, we'll calm down and we'll talk about, well, we saw some of the young guys in McLean and Sproat, and that gives you hope. But again, this also was about, we're going to evaluate some of these young guys. And like you said, and I said a couple of weeks ago, you watch this team and you get more questions than answers. The answers that we got are unsatisfactory. So again, who is Ronnie Mauricio? Who is Mark Vientos? Who are these guys? And where the heck do we go? Listen, I don't know. All I feel is disgust.
Got to be empty.
And would you keep the core intact?
That's the thing, Sal. I honestly can't say that I would. I don't even know if I want to keep this manager around. And
well,
you know how I feel about
guy.
Him. That's my guy. I want to win. I was disgusted watching that game yesterday, Sal. When he took Sean Manaea out of the game, my stomach dropped.
Manaea stinks. See, this is my issue. How are you getting on him for taking him out? He's terrible.
I'm getting on him for being mechanical, brother. For being mechanical. It's as if this is the plan, and I'm going to stick it strictly to the plan. They said, all hands on deck. I'm going to use every hand. Are you watching the game? There was no need to pull Manaea there. I'm sorry.
First sign of trouble. First sign of trouble. What is that? And thank you for the call, Hector. We got to take a break here. The first sign of trouble, what are you going to do? Let Manaea go there and rot away like he's done every time he's taken a mound in the last month and a half? Like, that's not the guy to stick through. Good God, you have an issue with that, Paul Manaea, when he did?
He didn't hit. Like, if you guys would have scored a bunch of runs and you would have lost for a different reason, I didn't have the issue that he did.
He shouldn't even be starting the game. He was there. This is what we go back to a couple weeks ago. They had no good options. So Manaea shouldn't have been starting the game, but he was their best option to start. So you had to go in thinking, the first sign of trouble, I got to be proactive and get him out of there. This is not let's wait and see if he could figure it out situation. This is if he's messing around walking guys, he's got to come out, and I have to go to the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you do that, eventually you're going to get in trouble, and you end up with Stanek, who stinks as well.
He killed you guys. Stanek, he was a mess.
But bottom line is there were no good options, and actually at the end of the day, giving up 4 runs, all things considered, with the way that they had their pitching lined up yesterday, was not the worst thing. You should have won that game.
Well, they should have, but listen.
With the bats, obviously.
I know. I can't prove this. I believe if the Mets had, and now he just got fired today, so it's probably not the day to sit here and say Bob Melvin's amazing, but if the Mets had like even a hinge, like with the way the Tigers collapsed this year, if you had one of those guys in the Mets dugout, I feel like they would have been a playoff team this year. That doesn't mean that Mendoza can't grow. That doesn't mean that he had a lot of options with the staff.
Right, but look at Hinch.
He was handcuffed. He really was.
Hinch was the manager for one of the greatest collapses that we've seen. Now they end up in the postseason.
I know. That's why I say today's not the day to really do it. But A.J. Hinch also has experience, and he's got a resume in different spots. Same with Bob Melvin. Whether it's the A's, the Padres, not that he was great with San Diego, but, Bob Melvin was cranking out 90-something wins with an A's team that had no business winning 90-something games.
So is it him or is it the players? That's what I mean.
I think it's a combination of everything. I think if you have the wrong players in terms of self-motivation or chemistry or whatever, then you better have a powerful managerial figure. I think the Mets' chemistry and that dynamic is not perfect, and I think the manager was too soft on him during the year, and it just got away from him. I know it's not high school. I know it's not the 80s. It's not going to be Billy Martin style, but the messaging from Mendoza was soft too much of the season. He will be back. That's fine, but next year, that target's on his back. He's got a lot to prove.
Sports Talk on WFAN is presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much, but you could always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today.
The home of the NFL on Westwood One is WFAN.
He is in for the touchdown!
The Bengals are in the Mile High City taking on the Broncos. 8:15 tonight. Monday Night Football is on the Fan. 101.9 FM and always live on the Odyssey, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio app.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium hot or iced coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions. Participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Move and be moved in the Mazda CX-30. With advanced safety features, intuitive technology, and a refined, comfortable interior, you'll love every drive. Right now, lease the CX-30 for just $199 a month. Visit your local Mazda dealer or go to MazdaUSA.com for more information.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Life's rewarding, especially with Flushing Bank's Complete Cash Rewards program. Just open a personal or business complete checking account to get started. With 29 New York Metro locations, there's nothing easier or more rewarding. Visit FlushingBank.com today. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Tiki Barber. Those of us living in New Jersey got hit with a 20% electric rate increase. If your current heating system is over 15 years old, it's time for a new high-efficiency Carrier system. And there's only one company to call for a new one. My friends at Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts for over 38 years. Older heating systems waste gas. So get your system checked now and save money with Edison Heating and Cooling. Contact them now at EdisonHVAC.com. That's EdisonHVAC.com.
At the United Healthcare Medicare store, right here in Jackson Heights, you can chat face-to-face with a licensed sales agent who understands the community and get clear answers to your questions. We're located at 3752 82nd Street between Roosevelt and 37th Ave. We're ready to help.
Yeah.
Wake up with Boomer and Gio. Morning 6 to 10 on WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good afternoon at 101. I'm Andrew Bogish. This Sports Flash is sponsored by the United Healthcare Medicare store in Jackson Heights. We'll hear from the GM later this afternoon, but Steve Cohen has already tweeted about the end of the Mets season. The owner apologizing to the fans for not holding up their end of the bargain. He called this season unacceptable and promised to figure out why this roster didn't work. The assumption remains Carlos Mendoza remains manager, but another team is making a change. Bob Melvin is out in San Francisco. Malik Neighbors taking to social media to apologize to Giants fans for getting hurt yesterday. Every NFL news outlet reporting that tests have confirmed a torn ACL for Neighbors. Brian Dable scheduled to meet the media in a half hour. The 0-3 Jets visit the 0-3 Dolphins in one half of Monday Night Football. They kick off at 7:15. An hour later, Bengals and Broncos play in Denver. And Rangers captain JT Miller being evaluated for an unspecified lower body injury suffered in practice this morning. Fan weather is sponsored by Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold. Visit the all-new, totally redesigned Ray Cattina Lexus of Freehold, the largest Lexus dealership in Central and South Jersey. Experience the Lexus GX, a bold, rugged SUV loaded with cutting-edge tech. Visit LexusofFreehold.com today and drive the extraordinary. It's 73 degrees, mostly sunny in Central Park. And that's what's happening. Sports Flashes, top of every hour. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Catch all the play-by-play with Susan Waldman and Dave Sims. The home of Yankees radio. The Fan. On the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
By your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Mets, and obviously we'll continue this final hour talking about the Mets. One thing, though, that I will say, we mentioned this earlier. We had Larry Fitzgerald in studio. In case you missed it, check it out on the free Odyssey app, where we were talking about wide receivers and Malik Neighbors, obviously. That is, we'll get more into the Giants as the week goes on. It sucks that we didn't get enough time to talk about them today, but it is what it is with the Mets. Like, that takes precedent here. All for that energy and that win, though you like to talk more about it. But even within that energy and that win, that's like I hate to say a Jet-like thing, but that's exactly what the Neighbors injury to me felt like, where even with the most exciting game and performance that you've had in years, with that comes a devastating. This isn't like he banged up his knee. He's going to be back in 4 or 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. An ACL? What? Like, that's the outside of an injury to Jaxson Dart himself, that's the worst thing possible for a Giant fan.
It's absolute devastation. That's the word that I was going to use as well. Excuse me. You knew it right away. You knew it right away with the non-contact. It's terrible. And the Giants' defense looked great. The pass rush was phenomenal. Yeah. The energy was just the juice in the building. It was so good to see. Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that you're going to lose some of this. I mean, and it's not like it's a month. Now you're going to try to get the best evaluation of Jaxson Dart without one of the most dynamic receivers in football. It's a very different
which is
equation.
Fine. And by the way, maybe it benefits him where it's not just about force-feeding Neighbors. Like, obviously, this is not, I shouldn't say benefit. That's not the right way. But a different type of evaluation. Okay, well, we know that he's going to eventually have a legitimate number one wide receiver. I want to see what he could do without just force-feeding the ball to Neighbors. And yesterday, really, even before the injury, it wasn't all just about feed Neighbors, Neighbors. He was making terrific plays on his own anyway. So I think the excitement was so great, and Dart was such a jolt of energy, and the defense, like you said, played well. I felt that would be the case against the Chargers yesterday. They came out, hey, look, Abdul Carter playing him on the edge. Wow, what a shock. Like, I mean, come on, Giants. Please, stick to it. I don't care who's injured. He's an edge rusher. Leave him on the edge. Stop playing him inside. It's just stupid. So the Giants actually figured it out. So the defense looked pretty good. Dart was exciting. It just sucks to have any kind of black cloud over that type of win, period. And with Neighbors, it's bad, but I feel like the energy in Dart is so over the top in the positive way that even a significant blow like this is not going to supersede that.
Well, for now it won't. I would agree with that. But, as we get into the Saints and we get deeper into the schedule, if the Giants' offense is if it becomes pedestrian, then we will remember, it's been a little bit different with Neighbors here, and it's going to obviously impact how we view them. Not necessarily what we think Dart is or what he can or can't be, but yeah, I mean, Jaxson Dart was really like infectious energy, which is great. Now, throwing the ball, was he amazing? No, he was good throwing the ball, and he was very athletic, which we knew. And again, good leadership, good presence, all those things. But there's a lot of football that is now going to be played without Malik Neighbors. So I don't think it's tempered today because it just happened with Dart yesterday. But I think the more we see the Giants without Neighbors, the more the reality kicks in that the offense probably going to be not nearly what it could have been with him.
WFAN NFL football is powered by Verizon. Get to your local Verizon store today. Let's get back to the calls on the Mets and maybe some Giants. John is in Dallas. What's up, John?
Hey, guys. Very interesting day yesterday, I got to say. As a Giants fan, I'm happy they won. It was weird because, the wins don't come much, so Neighbors getting hurt, it was very strange. But with the Mets, I'm sitting there watching the game on my phone as I'm watching the Giants, and it was kind of expected, to lose 4-0 and to not have any kind of it didn't seem like they cared. And that was the impression I got this last month, was that it didn't seem like they cared, which I know is not the case. They care. But as a fan, I'm sitting back and watching this, and I'm not surprised the way everything happened. I mean, go throughout the season.
You shouldn't be
Runners
surprised.
in scoring position.
You can't.
No,
you
I'm
can't
not.
be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, John, because you and BT have said similar where they don't care, and I know you're both not saying that you literally don't think that they care. The way that maybe I would describe it is a team that is just not able to handle that pressure. And instead of playing loose and free and having fun, they tighten up. And there could be reports that say otherwise. I'm watching with my own eyes. They tighten up and play like they're a team that is trying not to lose the wild card spot as a team that is going out there to try to get it the way that they did a year ago. It's a big difference from not caring. That's the way that I would look at this team and say, I think that they care. Do they care as much as fans? Probably not. But whatever. That's every team. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. I don't feel as bad as going forward. The thing about Stearns, he's a team builder. That was his history with Milwaukee, and so it's going to take a few years to see how with drafting and developing players, how that works. I think there's a few things about this year that get me, is that some of the younger guys did not step up. I think Alvarez is a keeper. Okay, I think he's a quality catcher, and he just gets hurt a lot, which I wish was not the case.
Yeah, by the way, I'd like to see Alvarez in better shape.
Well, I won't disagree with you there, but Vientos stepped back this year.
Yep.
Mauricio played twice over the last month.
Step back for Vientos is an understatement. Vientos looked like we thought he was going to look before he had the year last year. He looked like a minor leaguer. He was overmatched offensively and couldn't. He doesn't have a position defensively. Well, that was bad.
The other thing is there's two more things. Well, was there a guy who was slamming the bat into the cooler saying, "Come on, guys, let's get this together"? And I expected Pete Alonso to be that guy. Okay, and that didn't happen. And the other thing that between this year and last year is, the guy at the top, he was the one that was leading that team offensively, and that didn't happen this year. Had Lindor played a little better, they'd probably be in the playoffs.
Yeah, look,
because everyone sees that.
Lindor to me, John, and thank you for the call.
Thanks, John.
You could look at the numbers. Hey, look, you could look at the numbers for all four of their big guys and say, well, they all had great seasons. But if you watch them every day, including Soto, who I love Soto, he did not have it's hard to say he didn't have a great season because statistically he had an all-time season, especially for the Mets. However, in April or May, it wasn't there. And a lot of the big moments, he did have moments, and it's not that he can't hit in the clutch, but a lot of the big moments he didn't come through in. And Lindor, same thing, not about the big moments, but Lindor, up and down, maddening inconsistencies with Francisco Lindor's season. And I didn't like the whole energy around Lindor this year. Nimmo, same thing. Why wasn't Nimmo an all-star? If Nimmo put up career numbers and he's supposed to be an all-star and he's getting paid to be one, why wasn't he an all-star? Is it because you and I didn't vote him in? No, it was because he didn't do enough to be an all-star. And Alonso was the one I'd leave alone because he was pretty consistent.
He's earned that. He's earned that reprieve. He earns that respect.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Listen, there's also something to be said for playing with expectation versus playing without it. When you kind of come out of nowhere like the Mets did last year, there was this great energy. It was organic, and it was just, you play with a freedom. You do. And, now all of a sudden, the owner tells the fans, hey, you better come out. And the fans did. But he better come out like, hey, listen, let's go. And Soto's here, and just some more high-profile games, whether it's Apple, whatever it might be. The Mets are more of a national team. More people, when the Mets show up in town to play other teams because of Soto, there's more, maybe 2,000, 3,000 more visiting fans that come out to watch the Mets because it's a little bit of more of a rock star kind of a band rather than a bunch of guys just playing, vibing, and playing well. And they didn't handle that well. They did not. They looked tight, and instead of playing freely like they did in 2024, they looked like they played mentally handcuffed this year.
Well,
and really with Lindor defensively, that's where I think it really showed the most.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a physical or mental thing with Lindor as far as the defense goes, but that's my issue, is that they looked like a team that was playing under the new expectation and pressure, and they couldn't handle it. Taco Frank calling from Hamilton, New Jersey. What's up, Taco?
Franco.
What's up, gentlemen? BT, what a beautiful morning and afternoon. Yeah, you wake up this morning knowing that we're getting ready for playoff baseball. BT, I hope you are enjoying every second of sitting next to him today, man. You put up with months of the Soto and all the taunts, man.
Yeah.
I felt so good for you yesterday, bro.
Well, I felt pretty good, too. I mean, listen, we'll worry about Garrett Crochet tomorrow night, but, I mean, Sal does his thing, and I do my thing, and... listen, the easy thing to do would be to jump on now, like I think you're about to do, Taco Frank. But he's had a rough go. I'm gonna let him off the hook a little bit with this.
Well, here I'll leave you with this, man, because this sums it up to me. But I called around opening day, and about how we didn't bow to Soto's demands, and Sal rudely cut me off and started yelling at me in a way that only Sal can do. He's yelling, "Give him the sweet! Give him the sweet!" Well, for the first time, Sal, I agree with you, and I hope Hal calls and gives him the sweet so he can watch some playoff baseball, baby!
Taco coming in the side door.
See, there are
That's
two.
his buddy, too.
I love Taco Frank. I'm not sure if he's going to be a Phillies fan or a Yankees fan. Whoever's out first, then Taco will follow the rest. He loves going to the Phillies. Taco Frank's typical front runner. He'll jump on. Yankees are in the playoffs. All right, ride the Yankees. Oh, they're out? Okay, let me ride the Phillies. Let's go Phillies. So he's all over the place with that stuff. But the Soto argument to me is one that you and I have had many times. That is done and over with. Like, the Mets won the offseason as far as getting Juan Soto from the Yankees. Now, you could say, and I would say at this particular point, I think the Yankees were better off without Juan Soto, at least to date.
Yep.
Where you look at where they've spent their money in a different ball club. We'll see what happens in the postseason. But they pivoted to their plan B, which means they wanted Soto. They missed out, and maybe they were better off for it. Sometimes the best decisions are the ones that aren't made for you. And the Mets also, to me, made the right decision. Like, I would not give that back. They needed a star. There's a big difference with where the Yankees were at with Judge, not to mention the others, and where the Mets were at. The Mets did a mega star like the Yankees had with Aaron Judge. They needed their version of that mega star. They just didn't have it.
But let me ask you a question. This goes back, not to pile on Lindor. If Lindor was the mega star that everybody told me that he was, then why would they need Soto the way you tell me that they did?
Well, who cares what anybody says? Do you think Lindor's a mega?
No, I've never thought that. I thought I did with the Guardians.
Now, he'll put up great numbers.
I think he's good.
And
I think he's good.
For a shortstop, I don't even think he was with the Guardians. Like, he may have been a better player. I'm not saying he's a mega. Like, there are a handful of players, maybe not even a handful, that have the star power of Juan Soto. He's as big a star as there is in the sport. Not the best player, but it's Ohtani, it's Judge, Soto's in that conversation. Pick who you want in there to join that. That's not knocking Lindor or Pete or Nimmo, but we've always said that the Mets' best players were not on par with the top stars in the game. Even though their numbers might be producing to a certain level, to me, they were always missing that superstar player.
Remember when Tommy Pham said what he said about that clubhouse and the approach that the Mets had before when he walked out the door? Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, because not many of the players, Soto's been brought in, a couple of pitchers obviously different, but again, the core of the team is still the same.
Yeah.
And that's coming from, for those, I don't have the exact quote, but it was like, basically like they were unprofessional, right?
Yeah,
like
the work ethic of,
right? The work ethic was weak, and it was pretty much, they just weren't dialed in, they weren't locked in, it was kind of optional, like just, being, he didn't think that they were a very professional outfit. And what's really changed since then? Well, the results last year's run aside, which you can't really push aside because it happened, but, they didn't win 95 games in the regular season. They had a brutal regular season this year. Was he wrong?
No.
And if he was right, I mean, what else do you need to hear to just change it once and for all, which is where I'm from. And it's our job to identify what we would do. And again, there's more days for these macro discussions. It's Stearns' job to find out who wants Nimmo, who might want Lindor, what you could do here, how much, like the Marlins $10 million on the back end of Stanton's contract to get the Yankees to bite. Well, maybe and Cohen would do it, you would imagine, because he bought a minor league system. It's on Stearns to figure out what teams could do that with a Nimmo or a Lindor, because if they try to run it back, this team's never winning a World Series. They're just not.
Last year, well, they could decide to say, well, we believe in our core and we'll change certain things like McNeil's an easy out, maybe move on from Vientos, whatever, run it back and just go get pitching. They could do that, or they could really change things. I would lean toward the latter myself, but think about it. 2022, they won 101 ball games, which was deemed a large success as far as regular season totals go. However, they blew the division, and when push came to shove with all the pressure in the world on the line, just having to win one game, they failed to do so in Atlanta. That set them up for disaster in the postseason, which we saw. So 2022, even in a successful regular season, they failed by not winning the division and being quickly ousted in the postseason. The same, I'm talking about the group here, the core group. Alonso, McNeil, Nimmo, Lindor. Then they missed the postseason in 2023. Then they had an awful start to the 2024 season, only to go on a run, an incredible run, that barely got them in the playoffs on the second to last game of the year. They get into the playoffs, and then they went on a run. And then this year, adding Soto to that core, they missed the postseason 183 games. So this is not now a year or two. This is a large sample size. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. Of those 4 years, what do you think is, like, you can make your decision off of these 4 years. What do you want to believe in? You want to believe in the late run that they went on the second half of last year, or more that they choked away the division in 2022? They went out without a whimper in the postseason in 2022, missed the postseason in 2023 with high expectations. Yep. Last year started crappy, but went on an incredible, miraculous, fun run, and this year missed the postseason. Like, there's more bad than good overall.
No question. We're on the same page with that. So I don't know where the owner is, but I know where I am. I know where you are. I think that that's the right answer. And I also said to start the show, Met fans, you have to hate this team. Like that, there's two different things. Like processing a brutal end to the season, that just hurts. Like that from a fan's perspective, that just hurts. That's hurt that we've all felt for all the different teams we root for. It's pretty rare that a team that you loved the year before, you probably now despise or loathe on many levels. I think that the Met fan has turned on this group, and I think that they're done with this group.
Joe is in Massapequa Park. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe.
Hey, BT and good morning, BT and Sal. How are you?
What's up? What's up, Joe?
Yeah, we're good. Listen. I know it's easy to blame Mendoza, and listen, I could count 10 games on my hand that he lost all by himself, especially bringing that piece of you-know-what static into the game yesterday. But this team needs stability. You cannot let Mendoza go. They have to keep him. You got to show players that this team is not willing just to change managers after 2-3 years like the Giants did. That's my first point. Guys, my second point. Cohen needs to do two things this offseason. The Mets did not make the playoffs because of their pitching. We can say about what we want about errors and not being athletic. Their pitching stunk. This team has no ace. You look at all the teams that are in the postseason right now, they have an ace. Okay, the Mets need a legit guy who can stop losing streaks, who can go out there for a game one.
Now, who's the Blue Jays ace?
They have Bassett. They have a couple of guys there.
Who's the ace? You said everybody has an ace. The Blue Jays have the number one seed in the American League. Who's their ace? It's not Bassett.
I think
he's not an ace. So you can, no, he might be their best pitcher. He's not an ace. So it's not
he's better with the Mets have.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't even know if he's better than McClain, but he's a solid pitcher. The point is, you can win without having an ace. Like, I get what you're saying. You can win without having an ace.
And guys, another point. I want to see this one player. They have to go after this player hard, and that's Freddie Peralta, guys. I think he's a free agent at the end of the season.
He had a big year.
He had a big year, and he's a legit. He is a legit starting pitcher, and they need to lengthen this lineup. The lineup 1 through 4, very top heavy.
It's too top
After
heavy.
those 4 guys.
Yeah. Yep.
After those 4 guys, it was nothing.
Yeah. Anything else?
Automatic out.
So pitching lineup. What else we need, Joe? New manager. Right.
A couple of bullpen arms.
Maybe a new pitching coach. Maybe.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing.
Price of hot dogs. I don't know.
And thanks for the call there, Joe. The other thing, too, is, if I'm not mistaken, all these pitchers that the Mets brought in, their contracts are up, right? In terms of the relief pitchers.
Yeah, but that's
right?
fine. Like,
I think Soto might have an extra year, but everybody else.
I want him gone, too.
I don't blame you, but meaning
Raley,
you're going to have to even...
I think Raley's under contract.
Really is.
Yeah, I'm fine with rebuilding a bullpen. Here's the difference, though. What you and I, however we would do it, it really doesn't matter. We could give our opinion on what we would do, and I would be okay rebuilding a bullpen. What matters is going to be, what is David Stearns going to do? Like, he could have a theory. His theory was fine. Didn't work great in year 1. It was fine in year 1. In year 2, it was a disaster as far as the way he approached the entire staff, not just the starting rotation. So is he gonna change? Is Cohen gonna force change? How much imprint is Stearns gonna have? Is this team gonna be a better defensive team, better running the bases? Like, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see one move or 2 move. Like, I need to see an entire change.
Yes, they're too unathletic. I mean, Pete at first is not a great athlete. Vientos is slow as dirt at third. I mean, Nimmo's not a burst in left. I mean, Neil playing center when he did, not optimal, not an athlete at second base either. They've got to get much quicker. There's no doubt.
Right,
Soto's an average athlete,
but also on the bases, like, yes, you mentioned those guys defensively.
Yep.
Okay, well, great. Pete leads the world in doubles with 40 doubles. Well, how come a base hit can't score him from second? Like, and I'm not just picking on him.
No, we saw
thing,
it a few times.
You can't keep going station to station. So all those guys who lack that defensively, that also plays on the base pass.
I agree with that. Now, you say it's on Stearns. And this could be dangerous. It definitely is on Stearns, but because I say dangerous, be careful what you ask for. I believe that the onus on some level is on Cohen to very clearly communicate to Stearns, hey, listen, I know what I hired you to do, and I know your philosophy. You've got to tweak that a little bit here. This is New York City. I've got some bank. I've got more bank than anybody. Whatever you thought you did, whatever you did so far, do that and then do more. You have to spend money. You have to get more creative. You've got to think bigger. So basically, what I'm telling is, like, Cohen's got to tell him, stop with the bargain basement bin and go out there and get some studs at the top of the rotation.
Right, meaning instead of Manaea and Montas
and the converted Holmes, who was good Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to diss him, but you've got to overhaul that approach. We stop nickel and diamond. This is not Pittsburgh. This is not Baltimore. This is the Mets. I own them. But they do. We got some players. Get me some real arms.
But they do have the highest payroll.
I'm talking about arms, though.
Yeah.
No, I'm not complaining about overall. They definitely spend money. You gotta. And I'd be honest with you, dude. I was a little bit more with you because you said a while ago that you changed your philosophy with what you devote to the top of the rotation of resources. And I'm like, the game has changed a lot. Guys don't go deep anymore and more dependent on the book. You presented a pretty sound art. You did. But then I watched this and I'm like, but there's got to be a middle road.
Exactly. There is a difference.
Like between Toronto's the outlier without a stud. I mean, the Yankees have a few. Crochet and the Red Sox. I mean, the Dodgers have a couple of high-level arms. Generally, obviously the Tigers have Skubal. There's some studs out there that are pitcher in the postseason.
Maybe at least one. I'm just saying that I wouldn't make it a habit of going to give big contracts to multiple pitchers. But there's a difference between that and spending $17 million on Frankie Montas and the other moves that they did as well.
888-808-1019, BT Sal on the field. We'll give you a little Jets thought, at least a prediction before we bounce. But obviously a massive Mets day, a little Dart as well, a little Malik Neighbors. Hey, our transportation, water, and energy infrastructure is critical. But did you know those projects are built by the local 825 operating engineers and their contractors? They even built MetLife Stadium and the one before that. That's why their advocacy organization, ELEC, the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, fights for those priorities every day. That is ELEC, representing the hardworking men and women who build New York and New Jersey.
Here's Aaron Boone to lead off. His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
The age-old rivalry heats back up just in time for fall.
Hey, you ready? Garrett Crochet, Max Fried. How does it sound?
Oh, I can't wait.
The Bombers start their journey toward glory and a record 28th World Championship.
His second two-run shot.
Boy, and he loves that right field corner, doesn't he?
The electricity in the Bronx will be delivered to you like no one else can deliver.
Goodbye!
RBI, two-run homer.
Right here on your exclusive home for New York Yankees baseball. 101.9 FM, WFAN. And always live on the free Odyssey app.
I'm Michael Jenkins here to help you beat the books with the BetMGM Network. We're taking the over 44.5 in the Jets-Dolphins matchup on Monday Night Football. Both teams are 0-3, and they have been brutal defensively. The Dolphins have allowed more than 30 points in all three of their games. The Jets have allowed 29 in all three of theirs. Mike McDaniel might be coaching for his job, so you cannot take that desperation. We expect a lot of points. Take the over tonight. I'm Michael Jenkins from the BetMGM Network. Bet smarter and beat the books, and download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Rates may vary. Build monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking man. Hey, it's Tiki. Are you looking to enhance your home experience? Discover the new Sloman's Shield Link, the ultimate all-in-one ecosystem for integrating your smart devices with the Sloman's Shield. Sloman's Shield Link takes everyday routines and actions based on your preferences and connects other devices to react based on your actions. Imagine arriving at home at night and your lights, favorite music, and TV turn on as you enter your home. Whether you want your thermostats to turn down when you turn on your alarm or automatically lock your doors and ensure your security lighting is on. These scenarios are a reality with the Sloman's Shield Link integration platform. The Sloman's Shield Link is compatible with devices you already have in your home. Sloman's includes installation for all devices. Plus, they offer 24/7 support. Whether you need to troubleshoot a problem or want to add programming, you can call at any time. Embrace the future of home living by calling 1-800-ALARM. Me today or visit SlomanShieldLink.com to get the Sloman's Shield Link.
Michelin Winter Tires offer confidence in all types of winter conditions, and Town Fair Tire offers every long-lasting, fuel-efficient Michelin tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, Town Fair gives you the most free services for life with your purchase of Michelin Winter Tires to keep you going for years to come. For the guaranteed best deal on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Dunkin's $6 meal deal is kind of wild. You get a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, 6-piece hash browns, and a medium iced or hot coffee, all for $6. That's the main character meal energy you need this fall. Get it now in Dunkin' stores or order ahead on the Dunkin' app. No substitutions, participation and times may vary. Offer price varies in California and Hawaii. Limited time offer cannot be combined with other offers. Exclusions and terms apply.
Get ready for more BT and Sal on the Fan.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-210-4471 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-210-4471. That's 800-210-4471. What do you have to lose? Call 800-210-4471. Again, 800-210-4471.
Listen weekdays from 1 to 2 on the Fan for the call of the day with BT and Sal, brought to you by Wind Creek Bethlehem. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Straight Talk presents the math of more. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
Hear that? That's the beginning of a journey powered by the confidence that comes from driving a vehicle so reliable. It's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Where your journey ends? Well, that's up to you. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia. Movement that inspires.
See retailer for warranty details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available.
Talk New York sports.
Buddy Dave Lennon from Newsday, BT, and he's listening to the show. He was saying something like, "Yeah, we were just talking about it, kind of about spending money. Yeah, but it's about spending money wisely, obviously. Where the Yanks, and maybe it's a part of what Larry Fitzgerald said earlier too. There's also a part of luck involved. Like nobody thought. Now the Yankees made the trade for Grisham, but nobody thought he would have this type of year. He's getting $5 million a year. Like the Mets are paying Jesse Winker nearly double of what Grisham is making. So it's, and by the way, I never loved Winker to begin with, but you understand the idea. Like, it's not because they didn't spend. They just spent poorly. Also, maybe not as lucky as they could have been, which sometimes it takes in sports. It's not an excuse, but it is the reality. Like, you can't imagine that the Yankees are going to get this production out of Trent Grisham.
No, I'm not even sure that they should give him a big contract to bring him back despite the massive production this year, because I don't really know who he is. He's hit 170 and 180 a few times. Now, that's a discussion that we'll get into whenever the Yankee season's over, and obviously tomorrow's going to be a big Yankee day. Now the pressure's on Judge, and the pressure's back on Rodon, and Fried's first start as a Yankee, and the Red Sox, and the whole, it's going to be nuts. But it is, I think you've got to be a great franchise. And when I say great, I don't mean constant championships, but being in the conversation basically as long as the Yankees have, you're going to have bad luck, but you're also going to create a lot of your own luck there. Right. You know what I mean?
I know, but,
and teams like the Mets, and I'm not trying to pile on, but they seem to too infrequently create their own luck over time. I don't mean the occasional lightning in a bottle. They just don't seem to do it as many good things.
I don't know if it's about creating your own luck as opposed to what the Mets did prior with different ownership is something that's being held against them now, where it's only been 5 years of a new ownership. And maybe this is an unlucky season, but they could put themselves in better position to overcome certain areas of bad luck more often than not moving forward. Like, luck is impossible to, there's not, like, you're unlucky, that's it. It's not just like, the Mets are always unlucky. So I agree to a certain extent, like you make your own luck at times. However, if you just go pound for pound, like the argument could be, well, don't sign Jesse Winker because he's not very good. Mm-hmm. But the idea that you would pay $5 million a year to have a guy hit 30 homers, that to me is lucky. The Mets last year got lucky with Iglesias. Okay, they made their own luck. Stearns went out and got Iglesias, but it wasn't like they said he's going to be our starting second baseman.
It was a minor league contract.
That's my point. So, okay, they put themselves in a position to benefit from the luck that you had. Iglesias didn't do it again this year. So there is an element to luck. Sports fans don't want to acknowledge it or admit it. It is a reality here. I'm not absolved. Like, that's not why the Mets lost. It wasn't just because they're unlucky, but bad luck was a part of it.
Well, here's the thing, too. Now, let's say that the Mets had their pitching injuries earlier. Let's say Manaea was healthy, and then rather than starting not healthy, or Senga went down earlier, or whatever.
Do more at the deadline?
Yes, but maybe you would have also gotten more of the young kids. Who knows? If you have 5 more starts from McClain, maybe they're a playoff team.
Well, you're saying, if Manaea went down sooner, you're saying?
Yeah. So
instead of if he started the season healthy but then went down.
Flip it, basically.
Yeah, right.
And is that luck? Is that, a poorly constructed roster? I don't know. Listen, I liked Winker's energy, and I thought it was pretty good that the Mets brought him back, but part of the reason why they had to do that is because they decided, now this was not Stearns, but years ago they gave a 4-year contract to Marte, who outside of his first year with the Mets has pretty much been a damaged physical player since then. So because Marte, for just about 75% of his contract, has been diminished physically, they had to entertain the thought of signing somebody like Winker or doing some other stuff.
And to me, that's not bad luck. However, what I would say, do you think David Stearns is bad at his job?
No.
Me neither.
I don't.
Okay, now I know Met fans are going to disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad.
If you go over almost and probably every one of his moves, they all came up X.
Yep.
There is an element to bad luck with that. Whereas bring Mania back. Okay, some people wanted him back, some people didn't. Actually, they got him much cheaper than I thought. X. Okay, Frankie Montas. We all hated that one, so like double X for that one. That was on him.
That
wasn't bad luck. The other ones, whether it is Jose Siri, and you can say you don't like it, but like at the very least, Siri was supposed to be a good defensive player in center field. Shore up an area that they needed defense in center. Didn't work out. Like Stearns wasn't expecting him to be Mickey Mantle out there.
He was basically Grisham. He was a 185, 190 hitter. Now, he runs more than Grisham, but you know what I mean? It's not that.
Be a threat with some power. Like that, total bust.
Yeah.
Vientos going sideways, bust. Like that's...
Although, is that one on Mendoza? When you're young player, I'm asking. No, I'm saying, is that on Mendoza? Like when a young player regresses, where's the buck stop?
I'm just saying,
the player? Is it the manager?
That happening accentuates the other ones, and then it's a culmination of all these moves. Now, again, there's different variations of it. Vientos was here. Some of the other moves are free agency. Helsley, we could talk about the trade deadline. Like
Mullins was having a brutal season with Baltimore, and they still said, and he still said, that's a guy that I want. That was a massive X. That's not on luck. That's just a bad move.
Correct. But even with that, Mullins was still better than what he did with the Mets.
I mean, at one point, it was like 0 for 27. Remember that? He had that little blue pit.
Total bust. To a point where we didn't want him, but they were like, all right, well, whatever, he's fine. Helsley, same thing. You're going to tell me that's... Now, maybe it's a combination of a little bit of bad luck. Maybe there was something to it where Helsley was tipping his pitches, and the Mets didn't properly scout him or evaluate him. Like, they definitely deserve blame. But when you miss on almost every single move, and you're not a bad GM... Like, this is not, he's not a bad GM. He had great success with Milwaukee, and it's only year 2 here. He had a good, successful first season. I do think that there is an element of luck that you have to factor in. Okay, well, why did we get here? How did this bad luck happen? Which was luck? Which was bad decisions? You know what I mean? Deciphering what was bad luck versus not.
I just think the most important next step for him is that he's got to evolve. And I'm not sure... You know, you kind of are who you are. You come up in a business and you subscribe to certain things, and he cut his teeth. Even though he's a Mets fan, he cut his teeth doing things a certain way in Milwaukee. And, you know, is that going to fly here? Well, it didn't this year. It did for the most part a year ago. So, you know, kind of like Mendoza. And then in year 3, let's split the difference. See if you belong here.
Mark is in Oceanside. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys. I got to fight with you both a little bit. David Stearns, you have both graded with an F. This is the moral equality of having a surgeon bust up your right knee on the surgery and going back to him for surgery on your left knee. The guy has shown New York is not for him, just like players show when they come to New York. Can you make it here? You may have hit 280 with 26 homers and 90 RBIs somewhere else, but if you come here and you flop on your face, New York's too big for you. New York is way too big for this guy, David Stearns.
Well, Mark, what are you basing that off? He's been here for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm going to answer you, Sal. Number one, there's no other executive in baseball, none, who would sign Frankie Montas 2 years for $34 million. None. Nobody wants this guy. I wouldn't have wanted him 2 years for $12 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a bad one. Like, Stearns got free advice on a house for that one. We tried to help him. He wanted no part of that.
Okay.
And he was wrong, and we were right. But that's one. Go ahead.
And it's not by chance that he brought in 9 or 10 players, and they're all failures. Just by dumb luck.
Was Griffin Canning a failure?
Griffin Canning was, if you look at it, it is a failure.
No,
yeah.
he was actually He was actually a revelation before he got hurt.
He was pitching well.
Was he going to keep up with that? Who knows? But at least he did make something of nothing. Again, that's bargain bin shopping. But let's not make it like that's on Stearns. Like that's a little bit of bad luck.
What's his signature move, Sal? I'll go the other way. What's his signature move?
Well, look,
this year.
Well, this year there wasn't one.
Okay, doesn't that tell you a lot?
Yeah, he missed on everything this year. Like I would bet that he never has a year as bad as this one again.
Yeah, if you hit 120 with 3 homers and 9 RBIs and 200 at bats, yeah, it's hard to be that bad again. Is he up to the task?
Yes, I think
building a
he's from
championship
here.
team?
Think about it this way too, Mark, and thank you for the call. You have to be fair to Stearns. I'm not trying to be a Stearns apologist. He's been a disaster. However, you keep saying this, BT, and it's dead on. Like, he came in and inherited a team that 2 years prior to his arrival won 101 games and believed that the 2023 season was the outlier. He came in part because the general manager got tossed aside because he did something that most general managers do, but got called out for it with the fake IL and all that stuff. Like, this is not a normal circumstance. And then he took that team over and was trying to evaluate it. And in that evaluation year where he's not going to go crazy making big moves one way or another, they got to the NLCS kind of out of nowhere. Now the expectations were raised, and obviously it was a disaster every which way you put it, but how can you say that Stearns is a bust when he doesn't even really have the time to put his imprint on this team?
Look at the Knicks and look at every single player on the Knicks. Leon Rose brought in every single player on the Knicks. So it's officially Leon Rose's team, fingerprints, all 10 of them on the entire roster. Didn't bring in Pete, didn't bring in McNeil, didn't bring in Lindor, didn't bring in Vientos, didn't bring in Beatty, didn't bring in Alvarez, didn't bring in Nimmo, didn't do Soto because that was Cohen, didn't bring in Diaz. You have to at least factor that in the conversation. Now, Mark, you're a great caller. You're usually very rational and reasonable. I appreciate you stepping out of character because I could tell that matters that much to you. I guess we respectfully disagree, but here's the thing. He's got one more year to prove that either we're wrong or you're wrong, because after that, if we see it, if it's my team and next year is this year, he's out on his ass.
But the one thing that I would say is, see, I wouldn't do that. Now, it depends how next year plays out, but also, like, it's going to take a lot for him to get rid of, let's say, Nimmo or Lindor. I don't know if he wants to. Even if he does, it's not just like, okay, dump this guy. Like, those are significant moves that will then free up not only money that he could spend, but also utilize players that he may want to put in those positions. He inherited a team with a lot of money that was already taken up.
With shortcomings attached to that money, too.
Bingo.
Nobody's perfect. Nimmo can't throw. Lindor's inconsistent. Pete's not a good first. Mike, there were inherited items that had a lot of things going for him, but were far from perfect players, and none of them had really proven that they were big-time winners.
And maybe not the type of players that he wants. Stearns values athleticism, defense, and that's the team that I want to see built. I'm tired of the star power and the offense. Like, one, yes.
Yeah, you 2-3 hitter.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
That's
like Soto.
And then build a team around one or two studs in that lineup. That's what I would do.
Think about this. I know it's late, but think about this is important. If you look at the Mets and you're dissatisfied with who they are, and you throw it all on Stearns for reasons that we just said, we believe that you're wrong, and we just documented why. Many of these players we hear before him. However, if you don't think Stearns has any value, all right, you have to at least look at the Brewers. Do you think he was in those organizational meetings with most of those players that they drafted? Think about that. That is a fast team that runs, that play exactly the team that Sal just described. The team that Sal wants is the team that Stearns helped build in Milwaukee, who, by the way, is terrific.
Correct.
Now, they might not win the World Series, who the heck knows, but there's evidence that that's
the foundation.
What you asked me. Yes.
That's the foundation. Yeah. Now, what should happen is the perfect combination of what he built in Milwaukee with that type of foundation, speed, defense, ball players, not giving away outs, with the ability
the checkbook. Now you should destroy
to
people.
Either retain your guys or go get the complimentary piece, Juan Soto, to take it over the top the way that the Brewers can't do because of their pocket.
I'm with you, no doubt. BT and Sal, obviously, we got to give you a little jet thought, at least on tonight. Can they get a win? BT and Sal, as I said. Evan and Tiki coming up at 2. And by the way, Evan and Tiki, at some point today, will give you a chance to win Yankee playoff tickets there, right? Yeah, and I think Boomer and Gio tomorrow. Evan and Tiki coming up next. Hey, 4 distinct all-electric Cadillacs. Some drive them for the performance, others for the range, and some drive them, let's face it, because when you pull up in a Caddy, it's a good way to make that entrance. 3 different ways to turn every drive into an occasion. So, whatever reason you subscribe to, never been a better time to say, let's take the Cadillac.
The all-electric Cadillac family of vehicles, Escalade IQ, the Vistic, the Optic, and the Lyric. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. The BT and Sal Show is presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Cadillac, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Giants.
It's Evan and Tiki. Afternoons on the Fan 101.9 FM.
Cameron Scatterboo, you're a baller, dude. I give you your respect because you run hard as hell. And you talked about your physicality on the pregame show that we were hosting with John Schmelk. How physicality transfers.
Listen to Evan and Tiki on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Andrew Perloff with an Odyssey Sports Minute. A frustrating weekend ended in defeat for the U.S. in the Ryder Cup, but at least they made it interesting. They entered Sunday down 12-5 with Europe needing to get to just 14. U.S. rallied and made it close. Maybe you're the kind of fan who doesn't want to hear about silver linings, but the U.S.'s strong effort Sunday could provide a spark to rally them for the next Ryder Cup in 2027. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard. Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I ended up going to a dentist, and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found the Brooks Night Guard. You mold it at home to the top or bottom teeth. Other mouth guards go all the way to the back, which allows the back teeth to touch. This is where most of the grinding and clenching occurs. The Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Order your Brooks Night Guard today and get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to brooksnightguard.com and enter the code BRUX91. That's BRUX91. Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
Injured in an accident? You need help. The Rothenberg Law Firm. Lawyers that have built a legacy of victory over 5 decades, winning billions for their clients. The Rothenberg Law Firm. Call 1-800-624-8888 or visit injurylawyer.com.
We could tell you what it's like to drive the Nissan Rogue and tell you all about its performance capabilities, like its VC turbo engine. It's I can go virtually anywhere type of freedom. Nice. But you don't have to take our word for it. Go drive it for yourself. You're up. Experience the power of the Nissan Rogue.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Get 0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue, Pathfinder, or Murano. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. For well-qualified buyers, example, 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary. Subject to Nissan Motor Acceptance Company credit approval, not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends September 30th, 2025.
Athletes know performance starts in the gut. At Terra Origin, we fuse ancient Ayurvedic wisdom with modern science to fuel recovery, resilience, and real results. Our most popular gut health formulas are packed with probiotics, prebiotics, and time-tested herbs, supporting digestion, immunity, and endurance from the inside out. Because your gut powers more than your workout. It powers you. Terra Origin. Ancient roots, athletic results. Shop now at TerraOrigin.com.
We've got more sports talk coming up on The Fan.
Lunch was great. Greenwich Village is a fun spot.
Can we stop at a bathroom?
Are you all right?
I keep having stomach issues after eating, like diarrhea, gas and bloating, abdominal pain, and sometimes oily stools.
Sound familiar? Those stomach issues may actually be a pancreas issue called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. Creon pancrelipase may help manage EPI. Creon is a prescription medicine used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. Call 800-633-9110 or visit creoninfo.com to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
I'm asking my doctor about EPI and if Creon could help.
Looking for Michelin tires at the guaranteed lowest price? Get to Town Fair Tire for Michelin's cross-climate tires, offering a design that delivers an exceptional level of long-lasting performance throughout the tire's lifespan. Plus, Town Fair gives you more free services than anywhere else. For the guaranteed lowest price and your best deal on Michelin cross-climate tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. And I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
At
Bellavia Chevrolet, we know a strong season starts with the right lineup. Just minutes from MetLife Stadium, we've got East Rutherford's top GM vehicles like Silverado, Tahoe, Trailblazer, and so many more. Family owned, trusted for decades, Bellavia Chevrolet is built for whatever the road or Sunday throws your way. Whether you're hauling gear, heading to the game, or just need something that moves like a winner, Bellavia Chevrolet in East Rutherford has you covered. Bellavia Chevrolet, big trucks, big SUVs in East Rutherford or BelaviaChevy.com.
When your team's best players have all been traded and the latest pick is overrated, just raise a glass with a friend or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. May your team be great and your picks be true, and if it falls apart, you'll know what to do. Just raise a glass with a fan or two and tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more do. Hey!
Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc.
Call of the Day with Brendan Tierney and Sal Licata on The Fan.
Today's Call of the Day brought to you by Edison Heating and Cooling, New Jersey's heating experts. Larry Fitzgerald. Larry, thanks for coming by. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I really appreciate you guys having me this morning. And to all the fans out there, sorry to hear about Malik.
How were you able to stay so healthy throughout your entire NFL career, which should be soon a Hall of Fame career here? You were able to be durable, though, as well. How was that the case for, 17 years?
Yeah, I don't think players talk often enough about luck. And there's luck associated with everything. And then there's bad luck associated with some things, like the Mets. That's just bad.
Larry,
I'm just saying, that's just bad luck.
Tell him, baby.
With that payroll, you should be guaranteed a playoff spot. No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it 100, though.
And you were great, one of the greatest, no doubt about it, and I'm sure you'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is the great Larry Fitzgerald. I thought we were going to take a break from the Mets this segment, but of course Larry had to get his jabs in. Of all people, I didn't think I was going to get jabbed by Larry Fitzgerald today about the Mets.
Larry, all you got to do is this. Now, lower your voice a little bit, right? Just lower it nice and low, and just go, Soto. Just do it for us. Soto.
Oh, Larry! All right, there you have it. In case you missed anything, check it out on the free Odyssey app. Larry Fitzgerald joining us in studio earlier, giving his thoughts not only on the Mets right there, but also the turf at MetLife, Malik Neighbors, and the injury, and some other stuff as well. The Yankees, so I guess, Boone, not that he announced a full lineup for Game 1 of this Wild Card Series, which will be the first time the Yankees are going to participate in this new format with the 3 games, best of 3 Wild Card, all 3 at home. So looking forward to seeing that. Obviously, I think they would have been much, much, much better off winning the division, but facing Crochet in Game 1, going to have a little different look Yankee lineup.
Yeah, they are. So Ben Rice will not play, and Ben Rice has been on an absolute heater for the last 40, 50 games. His numbers are through the roof. So they're going with the defensive, the better catcher in Austin Wells, and you're going to get Goldschmidt at first base. Yanks have not hit Crochet this year. The problem is that we were saying this during the break. Like, you go back to the older Yankee teams, the dynasties, and I guess even before that in the 70s, like, it wasn't so dependent upon, like, they're 2 radically different lineups.
Right.
And Goldschmidt was going to catch the ball, and he's going to give you some professional ABs, but to see a Yankee lineup tomorrow night without Ben Rice, which I understand, lefty to an extent, without Ben Rice in the middle is not something I want to see.
Well,
Ben Rice has been phenomenal lately.
It's something that we've talked about throughout the course of the entire regular season, how at some point one of their best bats is going to have to be out of the lineup. And I know Crochet's a tough lefty. I respect valuing defense with Goldschmidt and Wells, and I know with Goldschmidt it's more about the defense and less about the defense, more about the righty bat.
Yep.
Ben Rice is one of their best offensive players.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, now he'll figure out his way in the game when Crochet is assuming that they knock him out. But this is one of the issues that you have with the Yanks.
Well, even Grisham in center. Yeah. I mean, Grisham, for all the home runs he's hit, he's 230-something. He's still vulnerable with the strikeouts here. I want to see, and we'll do, tomorrow's a massive Yankee day.
Assuming Jazz will be healthy enough to go.
He's okay. He got him yesterday. I know he pinch hit. I think he grounded out. He made a couple of plays at second as well.
Yeah, lefties are big, especially good lefties, going to be a big problem for them.
It could be, and that's even more reason why Aaron Judge has got to deliver starting tomorrow.
Agreed, and we'll get more on that. Looking forward to breaking down that series tomorrow. Maybe we should keep this Utley jersey just in case of a World Series rematch of 2009.
Yeah, bring it on. That was a good year. I like it. Hey, by the way, Jets going to win tonight or what?
I don't think so. You do?
You stink. Yeah. I have no idea, man. I don't know what to expect.
And you thought you picked them on Friday to win.
I did.
Yeah.
All right,
almost forgot about the Jets with the Giants, the Mets, the Yanks, the Jets. All right, we'll watch that game. We'll react to it tomorrow. Thanks to Dove. Thanks to Hoff. Thanks to everybody who listened and called and watched along on YouTube. See you